This version of It's Erik Nagel has been modified from its original broadcast. Content has been edited to fit this platform.
A message for the ladies and gentlemen around the world and all the ships at sea.
We all make choices, but in the end, our choices make us.
So choose wisely. Subscribe to It's Erik Nagel wherever shows are found, on whatever platform you choose. And as always, leave us a positive review. Would you kindly?
All right, and speaking of food hacks,
all right,
I have been trying to make friends with the neighborhood cats, so I bought a bag of Temptations, and I'm going to try and make some friends.
Are you going to eat them?
Guys, I have to eat my dinner. I'm not going to eat these Temptations.
No,
but
I meant the cats.
If you make friends with the cats, will you bring them and hold them up to the camera so I can see them?
Yes, I tried to get one before. He was in my tree, and then he was coming near me, so I started throwing these Temptations at him. He was like getting closer and closer, and then I threw another one, and it bounced off the ground, and it hit him in the head, and he just ran away. And I was like, oh, no.
Aww.
I'm now reconsidering your beef stew.
No, I'm going to eat the Temptations, not the cat, Erik.
Cats make excellent char siu.
Look, they do. Look at this cat. Look how cool he is. He's like surfing and shit.
He's got a cool Aloha shirt on.
Yeah,
he's got
like,
some fish on a stick.
Like, how did this cat have a better vacation than me? Look at him.
Cat had a better vacation.
He's got a better shirt than you, too.
He's got a better shirt than me. He's got a fucking surfboard. He's got 3 different kinds of fish. He can shop for a variety of fish, this cat.
It's Erik Nagel. And it starts now.
Ladies and gentlemen of the universe, the next voice you hear.
It's Erik Nagel.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the program that the guy before us said the name of, because I don't need to say it. He already said it in there, so no sense repeating myself. But I am him, that guy, the other guy talked about. That's me. But over there, that is Gittles.
I'm so confused right now. Hello.
It's a whole ordeal. We're not going to restart. We're just going to go with it. And over there is Zia. Hi, Zia.
Hello.
She's alive for another week.
I am.
We can only hope that that streak continues going forward. We'll explain why in just a moment. Follow the show on social media. It's Erik Nagel across the board, all the social media platforms. Like us on Facebook. Subscribe to us on YouTube. And if you want to call, be part of the program, the phone line is 651-SMITHERS. That's 651-764-8437. Call. We'll talk. No big whoop. We should trademark that. I don't think anybody's used that before. It would look good on a t-shirt.
Nope.
Indeed.
You make that shirt, Erik.
Welcome back to the program. If this is your first time listening to us, where the hell have you been? Hopefully you like it, and if you do like it, you tell 2 friends, so they can tell 2 friends, etc. You see where it goes, it spreads like wildfire. And if you don't tell 2 friends, you're a selfish son of a bitch. Mm-hmm. Even if you're
Share
female.
the joy.
We're not choosing your pronouns here. We're just flat out saying, all of you selfish son of a bitches, if you don't tell people about this program.
You can tell people. Do it. We dare you.
We dare.
All the cool kids are doing it.
We're going to go through your Twitter history and post things that you're not going to be happy unless you tell other people to listen to this show.
Like what? Like that dog picture I posted the other day? Or that other dog video I shared?
Is that the one with the dog and the bees? And the dog with the bees in his mouth, so when he barks, he was shooting bees?
No, it's the one with the dog who puts the cat's head in its mouth, and it's really funny.
Yeah, that's bullying. I'm going to report you for hate speech or something. Maybe spam. Hate speech is a little strong. I'm going to report you for spam.
Spam.
I like spam.
Spam's delicious. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
See?
I'm not a spam fan.
Fuck yeah.
I know Gittles likes it.
I'm not a spam fan. It's like concentrated bacon. It's fucking delicious.
It's amazing.
I haven't
Fry it up.
I tried it once in the 90s, and I never liked it, and I never went back and revisited it. Although I am still looking. I'm still looking for the pumpkin spice spam that they advertised.
I think that's a joke.
Just for the consumer. Was it a joke? I
think that's a joke.
Oh, God damn it.
Can't be real.
I was looking.
I saw a commercial. I saw an ad for pumpkin spice toilet paper. This cannot be real. Like, I don't need my butt to smell like nutmeg.
No, that is real. I
Butmeg.
remember that. I've seen that before.
Wait,
Butmeg?
seriously?
Yeah, Butmeg. All right,
Yeah.
we got the show title already. Very
There you
good.
go.
And cinnamon.
I don't know.
Now
I would
Gittles
not
is going to
mind-
check out for an hour.
See ya. My
I
work
would not
here is
mind
done.
my ass smelling like pumpkin pie.
Right.
It's not bad in the bedroom.
Well, considering all the alternatives, it's probably that's a good go-to.
right? Not terrible.
Right.
Not
Could be
terrible.
worse.
You smell like work for some reason. Oh, give me a moment, and you come back.
Yeah.
You sort
You
of
smell
smell
like
like work,
Starbucks.
but you also smell like Starbucks. Exactly. That's exactly it.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, lots to go through. Lots has gone on since the last time we were all here. Now, at the end of the last show, we promised an update on this creepy guy who has, I guess at this point, befriended Zia because they talk now. But there's nothing as far as any kind of physical, sexual, any of those dirty things. There's nothing like that being exchanged.
No.
But what would lead up to that is going on, but it doesn't go any further than that. And I'll explain here. If you haven't heard in the past when we talked about this, there's this guy that found Zia online, started talking to her, then started like offering her, like giving her money and buying her things. Now, this is usually how cam girls make their living, Instagram models, things like that. They have their wish lists. They have their Venmo where you can donate money to them, those kind of things. And that's usually what it leads to when a guy thinks he can get some kind of personal attention from a woman online. But that's
Does this work the other way? Like, can I be like a cam dude and like sit there and read comic books and then like chicks will buy me like food?
You could try.
You can try, but I don't think that the people buying you things will be chicks.
Yeah, I don't think there's a strong success rate for beautiful women buying dudes stuff. I don't know any girl that's bought something off a guy's wish list unless it was like family or significant other.
Yeah.
And even that is iffy too, because no offense, women, you don't buy guys really what they want. You buy what you think they need.
That's what everyone buys everybody though.
Not necessarily. Guys don't buy guys things that they think they need. They buy things like, I think you're going to enjoy this. Or just, dude, it's your birthday. Just tell me what you want and I'll send you the money, or I'll just buy you that. Make it easy on me. Women will go, I know you wanted that shirt, or you wanted that jersey, or you wanted that video game, but I really thought you could look, I bought you some of these nice pants and dress shoes because, you know, I think you could spruce it up a little bit when you go to work, or if you got to go for an interview, this will work. I didn't want this stuff. I still don't want this stuff. It's going to sit in the back of the closet, and then a year later, you never tried these on. Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, that's my bad.
That's right. That thing I didn't want.
Yes.
Cool.
Exactly. But Gittles,
I'm realizing... Go ahead.
Go ahead, Z. I'm sorry.
I was going to say, I'm realizing more and more why my husband married me. Because, well, not, why, but...
Because you don't care?
No, I don't give a shit what he wears. I don't fucking understand why you would try to dress your significant other. Because isn't the point of you being with them is the fact that you like them?
Yeah, you're not their mother.
Yeah, I don't want to fucking buy his underwear, buy his socks, or pick out his shirts. He picks out all of his own clothes. And for Christmas last year, I bought him the Master Chief like collectible toy, and it was cool.
The Master Chef?
Master Chief.
Oh, Chief.
From Halo.
Gotcha. Yeah. I want the Master Chef from Halo. That's the variant.
It's a fully automatic spatula.
Yes, it's just this British figure that yells at you that you're burning the wine as you're cooking it.
You're fucking burning the wine.
That'd be great. That's a secret download for the game. It's just Gordon Ramsay as Master Chef going through and he's yelling at you and go, this makes no sense to the game. And
I'd play it.
Wouldn't you? I would love if a game designer threw shit in there that really didn't make any sense just to be difficult or just to get people to talk like, why is this in the game?
What the fuck is happening?
You know
it's
what?
Kind of like how we diverged this conversation.
Exactly. We're so far away from it. All right, let's steer it back this way then. Gittles, in the meantime, you set up your Gittle Cam thing, and we'll set up a Amazon list, and we'll see if we can get women to buy you some things.
Oh my God, fuck yeah, I'm getting socks.
All right. Wait a minute. What's worse, the guy that wants his girlfriend, his wife, to get his underwear, socks, and clothing like that, or the woman that buys that stuff for him even though he didn't ask? It's the guy asking her to do all that.
Yeah,
I think it's just that couple. It's that couple is just awful. The couple that he doesn't want to buy the socks, so she buys it for him. Like, that's just a terrible couple.
Yeah.
That's just
goes, we're not hanging out with them anymore. They're too weird. They've got their own fucking problems to deal with.
Yeah. Hop on my pogo stick. We're going home.
So, it's LA. It could happen. So, this guy, as we were mentioning earlier, befriended Zia online, started talking to her.
He was a fan of Marvel movie news, and he started talking to me.
Okay.
When I started doing that show.
Warning sign number 1.
Yeah.
So,
right.
Talked to her for a while. Then he starts buying her gifts and sending her things and then sending her money. And she's gladly accepted this. And we talked about it last time where it's like, this is kind of weird, maybe even dangerous. Is your husband okay with this? And you said he's fine because of what this dumb relationship is. It's not really that threatening to you, I guess.
He does.
Like you're not going to meet him in person.
No, even though he wants to. It was getting to a point where he was like, I think that's where he was hoping that the friendship headed was to like hanging out and stuff like that. And I'm like, dude, I had to tell him, like, we have to have very clear boundaries. Because he actually like left Instagram and was like, well, now that I'm leaving, we're not going to be able to talk anymore. And I was like, and he's like, but here's like, just text me. Like he was trying to give me his phone number. And I was like, dude, you cannot have my number. Like,
why
you
was
can't
he leaving
have
Instagram?
I guess to spend more time with his son, like not be on Instagram.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's got a 2-year-old son.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Very weird. So he's leaving Instagram. He says, have you text him? So I'm assuming he sent you his number. Mm-hmm. Okay. So you have his number. You just have not returned.
No. I never took it down. And I guess once he deleted his Instagram or made it inactive, all of the messages that we'd messaged back and forth disappeared.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I don't have his number at all.
Okay. So he's gone.
That's good.
Yeah. I'm not doing that. But he did, I think 2 days ago, Venmo me $20 saying, because I miss you.
What?
Yeah.
That's creepy.
That is very creepy. So he's left. He's left. He left
he's gone.
social
I haven't
media.
talked to him in a while.
You had his number, but you don't anymore. He's still randomly sending you money. In the past, he sent you some gifts. Can you recap real quick some of the gifts that he sent you?
He bought me a like nighty negligee thing. One of his things is he wants to please my husband and I as a couple.
Oh, he's a
so
cuckold.
Like he wants, yeah. He wants to do things like for us. He's paid for, I think, a couple of date days, like date nights or whatever for us, so we could go out and do stuff like that. He bought me like a negligee set or whatever, like a little pair of like black, like silk lace shorts things from Victoria's Secret. He's got me a Harry Potter dress from Black Milk. That was because I wanted it, because I can't afford Black Milk.
I'm guessing that's a clothing company.
It's a clothing company.
Okay.
They do a lot of nerd stuff.
Okay.
And he's got me the Avengers Endgame DVD with all the extra credits and extra scenes and all that stuff.
The steel book one, that's like $50, right?
The steel book, yes, he got me that one. And then he got me 2 shirts, which he hasn't sent me yet. He bought them, but he's like, they're still sitting in my office. And this was, a month ago. So I don't know if I'm ever actually getting those, but he bought them. And I feel like there was something else that I can't remember. Oh, he paid for me to get my nails done. He's bought food a couple of times. He got to a point where he just wanted me to start charging him for things. He's like, just charge me for stuff. He wanted to give me his credit card.
What?
I was like, I'm not doing that.
This person is nuts.
This is his thing. This is what he's into.
What a crazy person.
He wanted, I think he wants it to be more than I'm like willing to do though.
Well,
like,
clearly.
He wants it to be more where I boss him around and demand things from him. But I don't want to go that far. I don't want to do like, if you want to.
He's moved from he's not moved from, but he's incorporating his cuckoldness with being dominated as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's not just the humiliation of the cuckold kind of situation. It's also adding the other level of dominance and humiliation by being the sub.
Yeah.
And you
so
being
like
the
along
dom.
those lines.
Gotcha.
Like outside of that, he's really nice. I don't think he's a bad person. His son's super cute. He's engaged. It's just
he's engaged. Oh,
yeah,
man, this guy's crazy. What does she think about this?
I don't know if she knows, but she has multiple other boyfriends.
What? Okay, this is a very interesting situation.
It's super interesting. I found myself in this situation where I'm just like, what is happening? I've never been in anything like that. And so I'm like it's half insanely fascinating and half like
terrifying.
Don't get yourself into too much trouble. Oh no. So it's like,
I mean, if people want to Venmo you, your Venmo is the real Zia, definitely not Gittles at gmail.com, right?
That's it. Venmo me all the money you want.
Yeah.
It's for snacks.
Setting it up right now.
Yeah, if you want to, going forward, if you want to send any kind of gifts or Venmo stuff to her, it's Zia_land on social media. You can follow her and see if she'll bite.
I don't know. I don't know how many other guys are going to be into anything like that, because I feel like some guys do that because they legitimately, like you said, want that sexual experience with a girl or attention.
Well,
I'm not going to do that.
It was crazy enough that you told us about this situation to begin with, and then as you're telling the story originally, and then he sends you the lingerie, as you mentioned, and the sexually suggestive shorts. One would assume that he wants you to model that and send video clips or photos, and then it progresses from there. Because if you say yes to that, then maybe she'll say yes to a nice bikini, or maybe she'll say something to semi-nude, and then it just goes down a path there.
Which I'm sure he wouldn't say no to, but he definitely doesn't push too. He doesn't try that because he knows where I stand on it. So he doesn't. I'm sure he would go for it, but he doesn't, because I'm like, no. So at least that's something that he's not. He's relatively respectful when it comes to those kinds of things. He's not going to push for too much. Sometimes he does, but it's not. I'm just like, all right, we calm it down, and then he does.
So he left Instagram, which is how you guys were talking. Mm-hmm. He sent you money after the fact because he had your Venmo information to send you some stuff.
Yeah.
Have you heard or have you received other stuff? I know you said he has 2 shirts that he's sending you that you haven't received yet, but have you received any other gifts since?
No, and I wouldn't know. I guess I could go randomly check my P.O. box and see if there's anything in there, but I haven't.
Jeez.
I really only set it up because he had these things that he wanted to send me. He's like, I got you these 2 shirts, and he's like, I want to send them to you. It's like a Spider-Man shirt and a Harry Potter shirt. And
which are things that you like?
Yeah, of course. And anyone that watches any of my shows or follows any of my social media would know that I'm into that stuff. So it wasn't hard for him to figure out.
There is a Harry Potter dress that you wanted. I know you said a couple weeks ago. So maybe somebody out there wants
the one.
No, he got that one for me. Yeah, he did.
Oh, you already got it. Damn,
no, what I want now
good.
is Star Wars shorts.
All right, you heard it, audience. She wants Star Wars booty shorts.
I'll post those. I'll post that picture.
So damn right you will. Mm-hmm. All right, so now what happens here? You haven't heard from him for a while. Do you still accept if he starts randomly sending you money every now and then? Do you acknowledge this, or do you just let him keep making deposits into your bank account?
Honestly, I don't even know. I guess I can't acknowledge it because I can't talk to him. So if he sends it to me, then it's there. I'll take it.
Now he hasn't tried.
Free money's free money.
Yeah.
But at what cost, Gittles? At what cost?
Yeah, right.
The cost of free money.
Now, has he not tried to find you on other social media platforms?
He I think he liked my Facebook page. I don't do a lot with that because I'm never on Facebook.
Okay.
But he did like my Facebook page, and I think he sent me a couple of messages there. I don't know if he deleted social media across the board or if it was just on Instagram.
Did he say why he was deleting this?
I'm sure he didn't make another one and is secretly following you with a different name.
Maybe.
Find his name and then add the number 1 or 2 at the end of it.
Oh boy.
Some people are that dumb. They'll make their own accounts and they throw another number at the end of it, and you're like, "Oh, really? What a disguise!"
Just put no picture there. You're like, good
It's
job.
like when you're standing behind a pole, but you can still see the person. It's like they can't see me. If I can't see them, it's the cat theory. You know?
Covering their eyes.
Yes, the cat's head's around the corner. You can't see where I am.
Yeah, not here. Invisible.
Yep.
Well,
yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Keep us updated. Yeah, keep us updated if he pops back up.
Definitely.
If you start receiving stuff to your P.O. box or other financial deposits. And we should also just, like we said earlier, the position is now open for other guys who want to step up and offer Zia things, financial means, all of stuff with no other reciprocation other than a smile emoji and a thumbs up. That's about it. Yeah, her undying appreciation. Just don't call her.
We'll give you a shout out on the show.
Yeah, there you go. I do have a feeling that most guys are like, yeah, no fucking way.
As they should. I mean, what are you getting out of it?
Why would I do that? Literally nothing.
I mean, it's pathetic enough when guys are doing that, but at least when they're doing it for what's the thing the porn stars do that shows up on Twitter all over the place now?
What,
Money?
Snapchat?
No. There's a thing that a lot of these adult actresses do. It's like Patreon, but for porn.
Porntreon?
Porntreon.
Where you get exclusive
fans. OnlyFans. Where they do this thing, and it shows up on all these Twitter accounts now, where it's like, oh, join my OnlyFans thing for whatever amount. It's like their own Patreon, but then they just post their stuff,
Smart.
their things. So when guys do that, or even girls, you got to include them. When people go and subscribe to these things, they're at least getting something out of it for the money that they're spending. For these OnlyFans, the MyCam things, any of these private porn star websites, or even if you're paying for, like, if you're dumb enough to pay for, like, Pornhub or something, you're at least getting something out of what you're, something out of the money that you're spending.
Damn it, Eric.
I know. We talked about that and how dumb you are for paying.
What do you get for paying for it?
You just get all the premium HD videos.
Who you don't need
Is
that bad.
does it make it better? I feel like it would make it more revolting in ways.
I don't know.
I don't like
mind it.
pure
I like having
HD
it.
4K porn stuff. If you watch those videos, it doesn't matter
It's like
how hot
pimples.
the people are in it. It's too.
I can't watch a movie
It's too
on regular
detailed.
4K because it makes the people look weird. Like I don't want to watch
Yeah.
them fucking 4K. Like
I'm
I
not
could.
watching the storyline. I fast forward to when the stuff happens.
We're not talking about the dialogue.
Oh, you're talking about after she can't find her wallet for the pizza.
Right. And then,
Gotcha.
what appears to be a rape going on in the
Is there
kitchen.
any other kinds of payments you'd accept? And
Right.
he's like, yeah, we take Apple Cash and Venmo. And she's like, okay.
And then
And
all of
he
a sudden she
leaves.
pushes him down on a table and starts taking off his pants. And you go, well, if it was the other way around, there'd be a legal issue. But this is
would be.
2019. So
Then she pulls out a giant knife. He realizes he's on a pentagram. And he gets sacrificed to Pizza the Hut.
while
Let's
she's
make
riding
that
him
video.
to Pizza the Hut. Sadly enough, I bet you there's a lot of people that don't even know that reference because that movie is so old at this point.
Yeah.
Spaceballs?
Spaceballs.
Yep.
Spaceballs.
That is such an
I love
80s
Spaceballs.
classic, but I don't
So
know if
good.
that really translates to a younger audience nowadays. If that's a movie they would seek out or know about.
They jam the radar with literal jam.
I love
great movie.
Raspberry.
the alien
Raspberry.
doing the Michigan J Frog thing across the board. I mean, across the bar.
Hello, my honey. Hello, my ragtime girl.
Check, please. Out. Anyway,
great
so
movie.
that's it for Zia. And please update us and let us know if other guys come to the table or if the guy returns and you start getting other
Other
financial
guys
updates.
come to the table.
Gittles has been doing sort of his world traveling as of late, and he was gone again this weekend. Where did you go this weekend?
Oh, I just went upstate New York. My friend's dad has a house. Let us use it for the weekend, so went up there and just kind of chilled for a couple days. It was really nice. I was on the side of a mountain. I had no internet connection, so I couldn't hear about anything in the world. It was so peaceful. It was great.
How did the telescope go?
Telescope went well the first night, and then it got cloudy for the second night. But for the first night, it was crazy. Like the amount of stars that we could see compared to even like Long Beach on Long Island, where we usually use it. And it's like pretty dark there, and you could see a lot. But upstate, it was just like anywhere you pointed, just a billion stars. It was crazy.
It starts
It was
to.
really nice.
It's just like 4K. It starts to look unreal because
It's just there's so many
real. Yeah, it's
stars.
so real that I the last time I did a telescope, I think we were out in. I think we were in Nevada, and we were out in the
Good
desert.
place to do it.
Right? And we were away from Vegas. We went to the dam, and then we went somewhere else to
The
eat.
dam.
And then at night, they had this thing set up where it was like I gotta try to remember the name of the place, but you go there and they had telescopes and stuff set up, and you could sit there and they're pointing out. You see satellites just going across the sky, which you don't see.
You could just see them with the naked eye.
Right, yeah. You see them moving across and blinking. You see occasional shooting stars and stuff hitting the atmosphere. But you wouldn't sit there and it's these. They're not long, but they're short, but they're fat, high-powered telescopes. And you sit there and you look at everything, and you're seeing the rings of Saturn. You're seeing really high-definition detail of looking at the moon. It blows your mind because like this doesn't look real. This, even though it's the realest thing out there, it doesn't look real, and your mind can't process that this is a thing that's actually happening in front of your eyes.
Until you've really looked at the moon through a telescope, I don't think you've really seen the moon. It's I know that sounds really hipstery, but when you look at a moon through a telescope, it's fucking insane. There's huge the craters are just gigantic, and there's all these like bright spots and stuff. It's just so fucking cool. But yeah, it was fun. So we did that, and then kind of drove around, visited some farms, got some meats, grilled some steaks, made some chicken. Stayed in the second day because it was like kind of rainy and overcast. So we just we found a local video store that still had the curtain of shame for the porn section.
Well, hang on. The fact, one, you're upstate, and a lot of the times when you're not near a city, you're that far out. Everything is the land that time forgot, because there's still things that you're like, oh, remember these things? Wow, there's one of those still in existence. So you're upstate, you see an actual mom and pop looking video rental place.
Yeah, that's what it was.
So of course you got to pull over and go in.
Yeah,
like how is this still in business?
Well, they're still in business because they're upstate, and if you don't have internet connection, which is not like easy to get on some of these mountains, like you still have to go out and get movies. You know, like people still get movies the old-fashioned way. Like they go to the video store and rent movies.
Did
it's
it
crazy.
Still have that musty smell?
Well, it smelled horrible. It was so musty in there.
So great.
And I felt bad because like the lady who was like working there, like she was working like 4 jobs or something like that.
Oh my God.
You could tell she was like tweaking on something a little bit because she was just like tapping her foot a lot, and she's like, hey, it's nice to have people like coming in, blah blah blah. And I was like, yeah, all right, cool lady. And but it was cool. They had a great selection. We opened an account just so we could rent the movie, so we did that, and then rented some movies.
Do they still have to check for a license?
Yep. And then we put them through the drop slot in the door when we left on the way out because they were closed.
Gittles, were you kind? Did you rewind?
Yeah, I rewound the DVD.
Wow. That's awesome.
I mean, they had DVDs and Blu-rays, so they were like up there, but they still had a lot of VHSs.
So they had that stuff. Did they have a video game section?
They did not have a video game section.
So
I mean, they had a section of like video games you could rent, but no like actual video games.
Okay. So you walk in, you find this old relic of a place. They're renting DVDs, they're renting videotapes. The curtain of shame. So now you have it's just a plain curtain that goes to like as a kid, you're like, what's back there? And then sometimes the biggest thrill is when the curtain wasn't fully closed all the way. There was a little wrinkle and off to the side, and you're peeking through. You're like, what is this? And then there's creepy dudes in there.
So yeah, so we get there and we ask the lady, we're like, is this the porn section? Because you have to ask. I mean, like it's behind the curtain. It's clearly not the horror movies because they're right there also. And she says so. She goes, used to be the porn section. Now we just use it as a closet. The porn's up front by the register.
That's great.
So is it on a display like cigarettes at a
yeah, like right
store?
next to the kids' movies. Like it's great.
Can I see Butmeg in Brazil, please?
Yeah.
I remember my first time going to an actual porn store.
Bikini Bottom.
This isn't what I was thinking.
Yeah.
It was my first time seeing pregnant woman porn.
Oh.
And it was a bunch of naked pregnant chicks on the cover, and I was literally like, I mean, look, I don't want to kink shame because that's such a dick move, but who the fuck is into this? Wow.
I used to work with somebody who was into that.
What happened?
I used to work with somebody who was into that.
Did you really?
Yeah, he was very vocal about it.
Such a trip. He was very what?
He was very vocal about it.
I mean, good for him. Here I am kink shaming when I say like you shouldn't do that because that's shitty. But it was a weird one. It's a weird one to see.
Yeah, that's odd, especially in a video store. It's usually just like School of Hard Knockers and stuff like that. But
no, it was like right there on like one of the first row of shelves too.
Wow,
it was super weird.
Was it a lot of porns that had numbers next to the title? So they're like, well, I didn't see the first 15 volumes of this thing. How can I jump into number 16 of Girls of Prague?
I know. Surprise orgy, number 85. You're like, you think they'd stop being surprised? I got that from somewhere. Where is that from?
I don't know.
That's like a line from somewhere. I just can't remember what it's from.
And my friend's dad has a very interesting movie collection of I'll call it Crackle, but the home collection. So he's got like 3 good movies and then just a bunch of weird shit.
AKA snuff films. They are in the mountains.
Yeah, no, there was no snuff films. It was just weird things. So we went to the video store. One of our friends had never seen Cabin in the Woods. So we rented Cabin in the Woods since we were in a cabin in the woods. And then we also rented Friday.
There.
Yeah, which is what you do. which it's still a fantastic movie. I love it.
Now, did your
and we
weekend end like Cabin in the Woods?
You would know because we'd all be dead.
Well, not all of you. Some made it out alive.
Everybody.
One guy jumped that void, remember, trying to get to the house?
Yeah, he died too.
He did.
And then we rented Friday the 13th, the original, because it was actually Friday the 13th while we were there.
Oh,
Jeez, everything's coming up Millhouse here for you.
Yeah, so that's what we did.
It's all
and
fitting
then
together.
watched My Cousin Vinny in the morning because that's a tradition we do every time we're there because it's a fun movie. And that was it.
So you
Sounds like a
your
really fun
tradition is
weekend.
to go up to the mountains and you watch My Cousin Vinny in the morning?
Yeah, while we're making breakfast, there's like background noise because there's no like internet or anything like that. And the dad really doesn't have that great of a movie collection. And so it's just like, yeah, it's always fun to put on in the background.
Okay.
You know,
My question is now, since he doesn't have internet, where's his porn box? Like, where's his at-home porn collection?
Oh, I have
You
no
know he's got
idea.
one.
Probably hidden somewhere, but I don't
It's
know.
in the crawl space next to the bodies.
Yeah, next to all the dead mice in the buckets in the basement we had to clear out. Yeah.
Homemade porn
Because it's
tapes.
upstate. When you leave for like when you leave, you have to put everything like in fridges. You have to lock things up because you're in the woods, so you have to lock everything up. And sometimes in the basement you get critters, so there's lots of traps set. You got to clean them out.
You go down there, there's a series of boxes, well organized and labeled, by the way. But you go under there, which one, that should be a warning sign. But it says homemade porn. Next box, homemade snuff films. Next box, cast of homemade porn and snuff films.
Ugh.
Well, we'll save that for next weekend's adventure.
Yeah.
We don't have time
Yeah.
this weekend.
We don't have time to be putting together a jigsaw puzzle.
Hey, rainy day, guys! Dump the box on the table. I need a corner. Wait, that's a foot. That's not a corner. That's a
this
foot.
is an ear.
Well, good. I'm glad you had a good
I got
time.
the nose.
Yeah, so it was fun. Upstate, lots of cows, lots of antiques. Got some local potato chips up there. These Saratoga Springs potato chips were very good.
Good.
Oh my God. My husband just brought those up the other day, like not even a couple weeks ago, and was like, I remember these chips are called. And he made me look them up to see if they were real because he remembered how good they were.
Yeah, they were awesome.
Yeah, you got
And
the
I
dark russet, and what were the other ones?
Dark russet, and then this other one just called Martin's potato chips.
Those
It was
are from
Pennsylvania.
Those are out of Pennsylvania. That's Lancaster area.
Yeah, I didn't really like them that much.
They're
I thought they were kind of bland.
Here's the thing. Martin's potato chips are huge in that area because a lot of the times you can get them sort of fresh. Like even though they're
Okay.
bagged, you can get them from the Martin's plant or factory, whatever it is down there, and you get them fresh. So they're right out of the machines and cooked and fried and ready to go. So I'm imagining that they're great just right out of the machine, right out of the place. But when they're in a bag and you got to ship them and they sit on the shelf for a while, they probably, because I don't think they have any preservatives either. So that could be why they don't taste as good. I was never a big fan of them. There's two brands out of that area in Pennsylvania. One is Martin's. I forget what the other one is.
Yeah, I don't know.
But
who
it's
the
not
one is.
Martin's, the bread company. The potato.
No,
roll.
that's what I was
Different-
thinking. Like,
it's a
oh, maybe it's
different
them, and
Martin's,
it wasn't.
No.
Because Martin's makes potato rolls, and like maybe they make French fries
Different
or
company.
potato chips with the leftover potatoes. Nope. And that was it. Like there wasn't a lot of good regional snacks upstate.
Right.
So it's a very hick area there. So it's kind of hard to find things. Lots of just rundown gas stations. I think that's why we watch My Cousin Vinny, because it reminds us a lot of the town in the south that they're at.
Yeah. And if you do anything wrong, you're going to go to jail, and there's no one there to help you.
Yeah, you're just gonna get shot.
Well, that sounds like a fun weekend. Better than mine.
What did you do, Eric?
Well, I had to buy a brand new television, and I did not want to buy a brand new television.
What happened now?
So I have this television.
Can I have the old one?
Yeah, if you want to come get it.
Oh, no.
60-inch television, very thin, hangs on the wall. Great TV. But in the last year, half a year, I think since the holidays of last year, it started to act really weird. The widgets, the smart TV, the widgets that are built into it won't update anything. It's the software that was installed there, and if that doesn't run anymore, you're kind of screwed. The widgets weren't working, so I couldn't connect to a lot of the online streaming stuff. And then the TV was just not holding the connection to the Wi-Fi. It kept dropping out all the time. and I've rebooted the Wi-Fi and the router and all of this other stuff, and nothing was working. So I was like, all right, it has to be the TV then. It's not a connection issue. The TV is just kind of fucking up here on me. Without that, using it as a television works perfectly fine, right? So this television is 8 years old, and I'm sitting there. I was like, it's only 8 years old. I don't need to replace this. It's working. And I looked online. I went to the manufacturer of the TV. I went to their website. Didn't have a whole lot of info, but there's a whole Reddit forum for this company's products. I went there, did a deep dive.
What company makes it?
Vizio.
Oh, Vizio. Okay.
And I did a deep dive on their Reddit. I did one through YouTube, watching support videos and what have you. And I even talked to Zia at one point. We were talking about something, and I said, yeah, I think I have to get a TV. And she says, how old's your television? I said, about 8 years, 2012. Oh, wow, that's a long time. Yeah, you're going to need a new one. Like, what? Why am I going to need a new one? Because I've been one of those people, and Gittles knows because he grew up with me. I babied any piece of technology that I had. I saved cables, I saved adapters,
Eric had everything.
I saved it all, and it wasn't like a hoarding thing, but it was more like for parts. And I was really good to all my electronic stuff. I took care of it, so I tried to make it last as long as I could. We knew people that had Game Boys and Discman and other things, and they were constantly breaking all the time and getting new stuff all the time. But I ran the gauntlet with all my shit until it either finally died or my mom got sick of looking at it and said, well, I'm buying you a new stereo. This thing looks like shit. So I still have that in my head. I'm really good with electronics and technology and stuff. So this thing's only 8 years old, and I was like, oh, it still works. TV's perfectly fine. Just none of the features work on it. And then I had to say, I'm like, well, do I get an Apple TV for this thing? Do I get a Roku? Well, if I get a Roku, it doesn't have half the things that I use that it would be on the Apple TV. Where the TV had all the features that I could use, these two devices, because of competitors, Amazon, Apple, things like that, couldn't do everything. So I was like, I don't want to buy two devices. And buying those two devices, I might as well just buy a new television, because TVs are dirt cheap right now.
TVs are super cheap.
So I go and I have my Target card, and I go to Target, and now some people are saying, why are you going to Target to buy this stuff? Well, because you get more money if you use your credit card. So I go to Target, I go and I look online, found what they had on display, and then you cross-reference it with the actual TV that you do want and their Target app, because sometimes they got shit back there that they forgot about or they didn't put out on the floor, and you're buying the crappier models on the floor because they have so many of them, they're trying to get rid of all of them. So you don't want the D series, you want the V series. Well, the V series is not on display, but you look through their app and hey, it's in the back there. You go tell the guy, they got to go dig it up. Now they're annoyed at you because they got to do work. So they go back there and find the TV. I get the TV. It's on sale too. Plus, when you use your Target Red card, you get another 30% off or something like that. So the price was pretty good for this brand new 60-inch television. I didn't want to buy the TV. Was my problem here, because the TV still worked other than the features on it. The TV still worked fine. And we're just at a point now where technology moves so fast and things update so fast that even if the thing is working perfectly fine, it's just outdated based on on the way you use it.
Yeah.
So it still works great. It's like, well, but I can't do all the other things that I want to do. And now with this new television, apparently you can update the apps. You can choose from a menu of which apps you want to use. And it will be available, I think, going into the beginning of 2020 for Disney Plus if you want to add that app onto the television.
Oh,
which
snap.
the old one couldn't do that. It was 7 apps on there that were locked in, and if they didn't update, go fuck yourself. So
see, I just run all my apps through my Xbox, so I would just hook it up to the TV and just do that.
Well, I do that.
That's what
I do that
too.
downstairs, but I don't have room for it in the living room.
Gotcha.
So the way it is in the living room, it looks like a painting because everything's through the wall and all the back end of that stuff is in another room, and it has the infrared coating on there, so you can do whatever you want. There's no wires, there's no boxes, anything. It's all in another room, and that's the only reason I don't have the video game stuff up there, because it'll be out of place and I have nowhere to put it. So get the new TV. I get it home. I put it up, and now, of course, the mounting position on the back of the TV is different than the previous one, where the mounting was up high on the back of the TV. Now it's down low, And based on where the mount is on the wall, now it's out of place. And I'm trying to lower it, the mounting as much as I can for the mounting over there. So now I've got like, instead of being maybe 4 inches above my mantle, now it's at like 1.5 feet above my mantle. And it was driving me nuts. I said, "Why? This is why I didn't want to get a new TV, but I still went and did it. Now I'm dealing with it. I'm having a meltdown. And I am fully aware that this is not an issue that anyone should care about. It is not an issue that you should have a meltdown over. There are bigger problems and other things to worry about. But this was my world, and this is what I was dealing with.
This is my story.
Yeah,
It's so funny. Like, I don't use any of this. I don't use any smart apps other than like my Xbox. So to me, like it sounds like a perfectly good TV.
it is. It's a good TV. I might even put it down here and install it down here on this part of the studio.
Yeah, use that as like a big display monitor.
I might put it out there and then do stuff where, you know, if we cut the video, stuff like that, boom, it shows up right there on the side. I don't know. Mm-hmm. I'm still figuring it out. I'm not throwing it away. I'll find a place for it. But I was annoyed at myself for doing that. I get why, for all practical purposes, I get why it had to be done. But there are people out there who will say, well, you didn't need to spend that money. You could have done other things. It was a perfectly good TV. This is a spoiled baby, first world kind of problem issue. Yes, I completely agree, but it's my show, it's my issue, and it was my meltdown, and fuck you. You're not taking that away from me.
Your problems, Eric, they're so funny.
I know, right? They're all
pettiest. They're just so funny to me.
They're all the pettiest, dumbest problems that I have.
It's great.
It's just I will say this. I'm very, as the kids say, #blessed. Ugh, that my life goes pretty well, that these are the things I have to make up problems because I don't have problems going on.
Look, technology.
That's going to get by the way, that's a wrestling heel move that'll get the whole audience to hate me, and I fully understand that. But I'm being honest here. My life is okay right now, so I need to find out things to be problematic in my world. And this TV of replacing it after 8 years is nothing to complain about, but I'm doing it anyway.
At least you're aware of it. Mm-hmm. I have some bullshit going on with my TV too, which is really fucking annoying because we haven't had it for that long, which is what's even more annoying.
Right.
But now there's like a line down the middle of it, like a black line. It's just a thin black line. Actually, it's like off center a little bit.
Right.
Just appeared. Don't know why. It's just there. And we just finished paying it off. And that's what's even more annoying about it. Not going to buy a new one.
So
can't afford to.
There's a black line down the center like it's a split screen?
Yeah, it's not a split screen. It's just like a thin black line that goes down, like not quite centered, off to the right a little bit. And it's so obnoxious because now anytime, you don't really see it when you're watching certain things like darker color things.
Yeah.
But if any light scenes come up, you just see this black line running through the middle of whatever you're watching. It's so annoying. Did
you like bang it or anything? Was there any kind of like, was there any kind of like any earthquakes that might have shaken it and like maybe shook it up?
Actually, you're right. We did have an earthquake not that long ago, but that was maybe a month ago now. And it just happened, I want to say a week ago.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what the fuck.
Is it multiple lines or is it one line? Is it like thin
Just
black
one.
lines?
One thin black line. Just one.
Huh. I'm sure if you do a search, some kind of Google search or something, that you'll come across a solution.
Yes.
Either through Reddit or a YouTube video that said, hey, you guys have this issue? I'm here. I'm Corey, and I'm here to tell you
how to
what
fix
your
it.
problem is.
Just tell me how to fix it.
Right.
Because there's no way we're buying a new TV. Not going to happen. Absolutely not. This
no
is
need
like a
to.
3-year-old TV.
There's no need to buy a new TV like that. Although I would say that is very annoying. If there's a black line going across everything you watch, I think I would drive. That'd be like water torture. I don't think I'd be able to do that.
Thank God it's a TV in the bedroom.
I want your old TV, but I have no way to get it.
You could actually come out to my place once in a while. I have other.
Oh yeah, I'll just carry it home on the train because I don't have a car, Eric.
I got some bungee cables. You can throw it over your back like a backpack.
Oh geez, like some sort of TV Sherpa.
I'll drop you off on. I'll drop you off on the side of the highway. You can hitchhike like the sad Hulk music is playing. There's Gittles.
Yeah, on the TV on my back, and someone's watching the Hulk as I'm hitchhiking, doing the Hulk thing.
Weirdest thing today, there was some homeless-looking dude with a TV on his back hitchhiking on the highway. I don't know what was going on.
And you definitely won't get robbed as you're walking home carrying a giant flat screen TV.
No, you won't, because they don't want to carry a big flat screen
No
television.
one wants to carry it.
They're going to be like, look, we could beat them up, but I'm not stealing that TV. I don't want to carry that.
They'd be like, we could steal a better TV. If we're going to go to jail for something, we'll take an old broken piece of shit.
Exactly. So
That's a good point.
that was
It's
pretty
foolproof.
much one of the highlights of my week that has gone by.
I love your highlights, Eric.
They mean nothing to anybody.
Oh,
they don't
great.
affect the world one iota. They just drive me nuts.
Do you get at all excited to get new stuff though? Like getting a new TV, you're not like, ooh, shiny new thing.
I am if I can convince myself that it's warranted.
Okay.
Right? Like if when we were redoing the studios and we were getting new computers and what have you, I was very excited to spend the money and get those things. Because if something brand new, it was going to be used.
Yeah.
If something had to be replaced, I really have to mentally prepare myself to replace things. Or else otherwise it's going to be like, well, that worked perfectly fine. I just wasted money on getting a newer version of it. Like somebody asked when I was talking about this at one of my other jobs, and they were saying, well, what do you do with your phone when you have to update your phone? I said, well, that's different. I have usually it's like a 2-year contract or something. And they say, oh, you qualify for an upgrade usually by the second year. And they want you to upgrade the phone because they want you to get the newer things. They want you to keep spending money and what have you. That doesn't bother me. Even though I know the phone works, I'm handing the phone in. I'm exchanging it towards a new thing. So I'm not keeping the old phone and then buying a new phone, or throwing the old phone out and buying a new phone. I'm turning it in, using it towards the purchase or the lease of a new phone. I guess that doesn't bother me. It's when it's like, oh, well, the volume button doesn't work on the TV, but it works on the remote. All right, well, I got to go buy a brand new TV because the volume button doesn't work. That's what drives me crazy. It's things like that. There's no reason to the mental illness on this. There's none. Don't try to figure it out. I'm just telling you flat out what goes through my head when it comes to these things. So,
I mean, I kind of agree. Like, if I have to get something new because it's like something new I want, then I'm like excited for it. But like, if something breaks and I have to replace it, then I'm pissed.
Yeah. But I have the new TV. It's working very well. It works a lot. It boots up a lot faster than the old one does. It stays connected, no issues, and the app Smartwatch, I think it's called, is the feature on the TV, and the app stuff works so fast. You click the Netflix button, give it a second, you see the logo, boom, choose your profile. Amazon, you see the logo, boom, now you're in there. Like, it works really fast. So as time has gone on since purchasing and installing the television, I've started to now appreciate the fact that I have it, instead of being so angry when I looked at it. For the first day or two, I just looked at it and was just like, ugh. I just was disgusted at it because I had to buy this thing and I didn't want to buy it. But now I'm kind of okay with it.
When it works
good.
much better.
Yeah.
Did you christen it with a bottle of champagne and then have to buy another TV?
No, I learned from the last time
I thought so.
not to do that anymore. So there was that, and then was there anything else that aggravated me? Yeah,
Everything aggravates
I was
you.
going to say, please tell me.
there was a
Like,
thing.
every week we should have what didn't aggravate Eric.
There's another little petty issue that I guess we can get into with
Here we go. It's gonna be great.
Instagram photographers.
Oh.
So I follow a lot of accounts that specialize in photography, and it's like some of them are based on the country or a city. Like, I'll follow accounts that are professional photography and video clips of Japan, of London, of New York City. Like, you see, it's like watching art happen, right? As they post new things, and you go, wow, look at this. They have this like pink forest somewhere in Japan where like it's within the city, all the trees are pink, and it's natural to that area. So, and this guy just takes like night shots and day shots. And you look at it and you're just looking at the way the color is used and the scheme of the city with the color, and you're like, oh, this is pretty awesome. And then once in a while you see people that like, this account's all about Norway, and they show you all things about Norway or Sweden or Amsterdam. I'm sure some of you follow accounts like this.
Yeah.
And it's kind of cool to see places that either you want to go back to or have never been to, and it's a little uplifting for your day to see all this stuff. Once in a while, you see a photograph by somebody and you go, wow, you know what? I kind of want that photo. Let me reach out to the guy who took the photo and see if I could buy the print from the person, right? I'm not asking him to send it to me. It's like, and I always write, I was like, hi, big fan of your account. And I linked to the photo that I like. And I said, I was wondering if you happen to sell prints of your photography. And I understand that not a lot of them don't want to send you the file because then you have the file, but they'll make a print and you can buy the print off of them. I've done it a few times. So I said, I would like to buy a print of this particular photo. Is there anything that we can do? Well, one guy says, oh, yes, I sell my photography. Give me a day. I'm finishing up a shoot, and then we can talk about this. Cool. Then he comes back. He says, okay, this is going to be about $300. And I said, for what? $300 for the one photo? He said, well, yeah, it's the printing of the photo, then the framing and the shipping. And I said, wait, I don't want you to frame and ship it. I just want you to print the photo and mail me the photo.
Yeah, like roll it up in like a tube and send it to you.
Tube, or if you do a flat, like the heavy cardboard
things
that, I'm trying to think, like the heavy cardboard mailers that people use. If you bought an 8x10 of something, right? They put them in there. It doesn't bend. Ships very well. I just said I just want to print an 8x10, maybe an 11x17 of this view of the city or this view of 9/11, whatever it was I was looking at. And he was telling me the price. He's like, well, this is how I do it. And I said, okay, well, I appreciate your time. Thank you. I'm not buying it. It sucks. I wanted the thing, but wasn't going to spend that. Then you find other the what?
That's a lot.
Yeah.
$300.
So,
holy shit.
Look, I'll pay anywhere from up to like $100, $120 for a print. I get it. Some of these guys have amazing cameras and professional photographers. You're paying for what their trade, their skill, what they do.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah, I don't mind paying money for it, but I don't want all that extra shit just so you can raise the price on the thing. So that didn't work out. And then I see a couple other ones, and I was like, you know what? I think I like that one. I'll reach out to that person. And I wrote to the lady who was the photographer, and I said the same thing. She goes, well, I appreciate you admiring my artwork, but I just don't do that. And I started losing my shit. Because that's worse than the guy who was trying to frame it for me and charging me more. This lady's like, well, I don't really do that. This is just for my Instagram account. She's a professional photographer, just puts it on her Instagram account. I'm like, you can't, I'm willing to pay. It's not like I'm saying I want like $15, $20. I'm willing to spend some money on some of these shots because I think they're really good. And when they tell you no, again, first world problem, very spoiled and entitled, I start losing my shit. Now I want to say nasty things to them, but that's not right. I know that's not going to help my cause to try to get this thing. And I'll try to write back, and I'm seething, and I said, well, and I always said, it's for personal use in my home. It's not public. It's not going to be posted anywhere. I said, I just want a print that I can frame and hang in my house. Can we work some kind of deal? And they still say no. And that drives me fucking nuts. So then I started getting mad with Instagram photographers because either they want to put all the bells and whistles with this thing. It's like, we only use museum glass, which is super expensive.
Well, yeah,
on a frame thing,
museum.
Right? So I just want the print. Why is it? I could go to Comic-Con for people who hand draw stuff or take other photography, Photoshop stuff, and you can buy the print for a reasonable amount of money. You took a photo. It's a very nice photo, but you took a photo, and you're making it so fucking difficult for somebody that appreciates your work. You're not in a magazine. You're not published. You're not displayed in a museum anywhere. This is the only place I could see it, and I would like a copy of that. It's not a fucking painting. It's a photo. You should want to have somebody appreciate your work, not just online, but somebody that's willing to pay you for your trade, for your skill set, and you still say no.
Well, I mean, some people just don't want to sell their shit.
I don't handle rejection well.
I noticed.
I've broken up with people easier than this.
Eric, I will sell you anything on my Instagram, Eric. Anything you want on my Instagram, I will sell you.
I don't want pictures of puddles.
Why not? Everyone else does, and I don't sell it to them.
You dick. But no, I do love your photography. I like all your stuff, and I comment on your.
But it's not worth money.
On your
though,
Mirror
right? You're
World
not gonna
stuff.
pay me for it.
Look, if I didn't know you, and there was something good, because you get some cool, reverse reflections of the city and areas of Brooklyn. It's very artistic what you do. It's no less than some of these other photographers, what they're doing. If I didn't know you, I would have made you an offer to buy some of your work if I really was into it.
Yeah,
You're
but
like,
he
fuck
doesn't
you. I
even-
don't want your art.
Yeah.
Exactly. I know Eric.
But I'm so mad. They wouldn't sell me the damn print. And I every now and then I'll wait. I'll wait a couple of weeks and then I'll just do it again. Hello. Same thing. Same exact intro from the first conversation. Hello.
Do they ever remember?
No, they never remember. Because I'm
Maybe
sure they
you
just
should-
delete it out of their private message from Instagram after it's done.
Maybe you should ask them if they have any fresh prints.
I wish people could see Eric's face right now.
Oh, he's so angry. He's so angry.
No, it's all right. That was funny. I'll give you credit for that. But anyway. So if you're a photographer on Instagram and somebody wants to buy your work, as long as they're not trying to dick you over and they're showing appreciation for what you're doing, sell the damn photo.
It just seems odd
It's
that
not a
that's your
Picasso.
whole thing. Yeah, like it just seems odd that that's your whole thing, and you're saying, I don't know. I just don't understand saying no to money.
Yeah, I mean, people are
Like,
just
if
giving it to you. You don't even have to give them anything. Like, Eric's trying to get a product. He can't even buy it.
You're
what I
offering
don't
nothing, and people can't stop They're constantly posting the Fry meme saying, "Take my money," and I'm trying to buy somebody's actual artwork, and they're telling me to go, cram it with walnuts. Ugly.
What a great insult. I love that insult.
Isn't it?
Amazing.
Cram it with walnuts ugly. Like, that is just...
Absolutely gonna steal that. I will cite you. I'll just say cram it with
No,
walnuts.
it's not
ugly,
ours.
and
I stole
I'll
it
be
from The
like,
Simpsons.
It's Erik Nagel. Oh, okay, never mind.
Yeah. That's a Homer line.
That's a good one. I should have known. That was from The Simpsons. Why would it not be?
It's always from The Simpsons. If you don't know, it's either a 90s song or it's The Simpsons. More
Yeah.
The Simpsons. But anyway, so yeah,
And if you don't know, now you know.
exactly. That was
I got
my
that
frustrations for the week. Did anything nice happen? I'm sure it did. I just didn't remember. Because who
Did you get
remembers the
some-
nice stuff?
Did you get some iced tea that was good? Like, did you get some iced tea that they got right?
Oh,
anywhere?
no. But
Oh, geez, here we go.
no, Dunkin' Donuts wrote to me on Facebook.
No, they
Did they?
didn't.
Yeah.
They were like, Eric, you're one of our most top customers.
No.
Like, we cannot have you, King Nagel.
No. So
You're Arnold Palmer.
I wish they said that, because then I said, you have me for life. But they didn't. So if you look on the Facebook for the show account where I posted the Dunkin' Donuts thing, they wrote to me and they said, please DM us. It was their corporate account.
Whoa.
So I sent it to them and I explained what happened. And I sent them a copy of the receipt from the app, right? So apparently they're sending something. They asked for for the
What?
address, so I gave them the address, and they said, we'd like to make this right. We're going to be sending you something in an attempt to make up for this. And I said, well, I was going to push it, because I was going to say, well, it's not just this location. It's the majority of your locations that sell iced tea that tastes like burnt coffee. But I didn't. I just specified the one location, and the fact that they reached out to me was enough that hopefully whatever they send me will be good. If it's a bunch of gift cards.
What if it's a? Yeah, I was just gonna say, what if it's? I got so excited. I'm so excited right now for you. A lifetime. So free Dunkin' Donuts. I just want the donuts. Lifetime. But they're donuts.
That's true.
The only argument, they're donuts. A lifetime like supply of Dunkin' Donuts. Like, what if you could go there?
They're not
going to
give me a lifetime supply of Dunkin' Donuts complaining about one iced tea made poorly. If they do, that company deserves everything that they get. And you'll have my undying love and gratitude while they fail miserably as a business model.
You know what they are going to send you? They're going to send a hitman, and he's going to come to the door and be like, yeah, you're the guy who complains about the Dunkin' Donuts, eh? And he's going to shoot you, and then they're going to be like, all right, taken care of. And then gone. That's how it's going to end.
No, they'll find me dead with munchkins crammed through my esophagus, and it's like he choked to death. And they trying to do CPR, and just powdered sugar is shooting out my mouth and nose.
Oh.
Stuffed it with munchkins, ugly. Just like the cinnamon challenge.
Yes.
That's not a bad way to go out. Donuts and powdered sugar.
It is when it's involuntary. If you're
sounds
scarfing down a box of donuts and you go, that's a pretty good way to go.
No, it's not. That's fucking horrible and embarrassing.
Shut up,
like,
I'm
I don't
going
want
somewhere with
to
this.
be in the newspaper, died choking on munchkins, like little fucking donut holes from Dunkin' Donuts. That is not a way to die. That is a terrible way to die.
Sitting there with a box of munchkins like that Simpson episode, I guess it was the seafood episode in the first season when he's eating all-you-can-eat seafood and the shrimp keeps repeating on the plate even though he's picking it up. It just keeps showing back up on the plate. That's what it would look like if you died choking on munchkins.
And you know what? And like the New York Post would be like Dunkin' Die Nuts or some shit like that. You know, it would be like some stupid, horrible pun. Ugh.
They would.
Time to eat the donuts.
Yeah, time to die the donuts. I don't know. But yeah, like you don't want to. That's not a way to die, Eric. Like you have to go out with a lot more glory.
Everyone dies on Dunkin'.
Like yes, everyone died. That's true. I mean, America runs on Dunkin', hence why we're all fat.
But donuts.
So if they send me anything, I'll let you guys know what it is.
Oh well, no, it's
Very
gonna be
excited.
I'll give you that update. Anything else we really need to talk about before we go into TV and stuff for the second segment? Gittles, the last thing we'll update is the banning of vape in New York State.
Oh yeah.
So that passed really fast.
Of course, they needed something.
Now here's what I don't understand. I thought Michigan was the first state that banned the flavored electronic cigarettes.
I don't know. I was up in the mountains all weekend, so I didn't read any of these news stories. I'm still catching up.
Well, the headlines for this in New York State was that
I saw the flavored ones.
Right, it was New York. New York becomes the first state in the country to ban flavored e-cigarettes. But I swear I'm looking it up right now. I swear I thought Michigan did it first. Okay, so Michigan has a deadline. Well, see, this one says here. No, this one says Michigan was the first state to issue a ban on flavored vapes.
Okay.
Get your shit together, New York State and media.
Vapes.
That's your whole job. Don't they have a fact checkers?
I don't think it should be banned. Just because here's the reasoning, right? So, from what I was understanding when they announced that the banning was happening, they were saying because of flavors like cotton candy and fruit punch is more alluring to kids, and that's why the increase in younger people, and whether they're overage or underage, drastically increased with people doing the vape. So you're banning the vape flavors, which, by the way, I hate vaping, but I'm not saying take it away from people.
No.
So now you're saying, well, it can only have the nicotine flavored vapes. You can't have the fruit flavor because adults like it and like the variety, but kids like it, so we have to get rid of it. But you know what? You got all these fucking flavored vodkas that they're not getting rid of because kid loves. I mean, they've got bubblegum and fruit punch and all those other weird 3 olive flavors for vodka. You're not taking those things away.
They're only doing it because the news blew it up and they needed something to jump on to distract from the fact that our entire government is collapsing right now. Like, that is like why this is happening, Eric. Like, that's why all this stuff is happening. It's just a distraction from way bigger problems.
Yeah, it's just one of those dumb small things that everybody's focusing on. It doesn't matter at all. I started smoking cigarettes when I was 14, and they didn't taste like and Marlboro Reds too. By the way, some of the most disgusting cigarettes.
Ooh, cowboy killers.
But I mean, like, I guarantee you, more people have died from opioid overdoses in the time we've been talking about vapes than have died from vapes. And no one's doing anything to fix that. You know what I mean? Like, we talked about it last week, and it's stupid. It's not a priority. And watching how fast everyone is moving on this, like it's this gigantic public emergency, is just kind of embarrassing, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm with you. Because what was it? 6 people died? 6?
Like 6 people, and it's all been traced back to like black market stuff. Some of it's been, most of it's like to back market like THC vape cartridges. I was reading an article where people said that some people who make like the illegal black market cartridges sometimes will fill it with the same stuff that they make like the fake K2 weed stuff with too. So you don't know what you're getting.
Oh, right.
So like if you're not getting a vape cartridge that's from like a legit dispensary, like you kind of are rolling the dice. Like you don't know 100% what you're getting in these things. A lot of them use weird oils. Some of them use butanes to extract like the THC. Like there's lots of different things in them. And I don't think a lot of people know that.
Right. And if you're buying something that's not regulated, then there's always going to be a chance that it could hurt you in some way.
Yeah, and even if you get ones that you think are regulated, like unless you go to the vape shop, there's a very good possibility that it's counterfeit. Like even ones that I've had my friends get from California from like reputable sources, it turns out were like counterfeit, and the people that they got it from didn't even know they were counterfeit. So it's like there's a lot of counterfeit products out there in all markets, but in the vape market, I think it's taken off so fast because it's such a lucrative market.
It's interesting when vaping started becoming popular over smoking. I swear I remember thinking there's no possible way that could be that much better. There's no way that it's fine for you and there's going to be no repercussions.
Yeah, but I mean,
those things that's so new.
Yeah, and I think like some of the regular THC ones, like regular nicotine ones, like the Logic, and I think like some of the other ones that are like relatively safe compared. Like, yeah, it still has nicotine in it, but it doesn't have the carcinogens of cigarette smoking. And I know a lot of people and I know a lot of people who have stopped smoking because they vaped. I know a lot of people have gotten off of hard drugs because they've vaped and stuff like that. So I think it does have, usefulness for people who are like trying to quit maybe other addictions. Like whether or not it's safer is still, to be told, but I don't know. I think this is all just a big hubbub over nothing, to be honest.
I'm with you.
Seems
like a sense thing.
Look, I just don't want them doing it in front of me where, look, it's bad enough when you walk, at least in Manhattan, you walk the streets and people just let out big vape clouds and you walk through it, and I don't care how it smells, it's still disgusting. But I'm talking about like where if you're in a restaurant or if you're on the train, as I said before, and people are doing that, where you're invading somebody's personal space like that I have a big fucking problem with it. But if you want to go do it in your office, outside, where any of those, go ahead. I'm not saying don't ever do this stuff. I'm not saying you could never do it again.
Yeah.
You want to, whether it's
your life, do it. Do what you want. I don't give a shit.
Whether it's perfectly fine, or if say we do find out down the line that this is completely, hazardous and it's going to like kill you even faster, that's your decision to make. So if you want to go do that, go do that. Just don't be in front of me when you're doing it. That's all I'm asking, and that's my biggest concern. Is just don't do it in close quarters like that around people. Like, you don't go into an elevator and do it. People do it, but don't go into an elevator and do it while you're stuck in that situation. Go by and do it wherever else you want.
We have to tell people constantly, the restaurant I work at, we have to tell people constantly that they can't vape out on our patio. Because it's like, dude, because they think because it's LA and weed is legalized here that they can just smoke anywhere. And it's like, no, this is still a restaurant. This is still a public space. And like kids do come here. So no, you cannot smoke weed out here on the patio. You have to go somewhere else. But it's like, it's almost an everyday thing at this point.
Wow.
Yeah, it's insane.
Well, look, you can say whatever you want, no matter what age group. Everyone's got this entitlement.
Oh, yeah.
Aspect. It just depends to what degree and what specific entitlement it is.
It's always something. It's like another thing. And this is a pet peeve of mine. And people sometimes get really angry about this. But I've seen what happens. People that bring their dogs to restaurants. You have to like stop doing that. I had one woman who was like, I have to go. They sat a person with a dog, and don't give me your emotional support animal bullshit. That's not. If you legitimately need it for serving, like you have seizures or you're blind or like, then that's completely different. Totally get it. But here people just bring them everywhere because they just want to bring their dog everywhere. I had a woman had to get up and leave because she was like severely allergic to dogs, where she's like, I have my EpiPen, but she's like, I have to go. So then and we also had one, and people bring big dogs to the restaurant. And we had one busser who'd been attacked by a dog. So he was terrified. And they had this big, I think it was like a pit bull mix or something on the patio. And he was so scared to even go out there. And they're hard to work around. Like, it's just, you don't think about other people. And no one's saying, oh, we hate dogs. Like, maybe just don't bring them into a restaurant where people have to work around them and I have to step over them and they're walking into me and I'm trying to work. and then you have people leaving because they're allergic, or you have someone that's like terrified. It's not like it's a park or something like that. You know what I mean? But it's just weird. And here people seem like it's crazy that they can't bring it in. It's like, why would you though? Yeah, it's also very unsanitary. Like there's food around.
Yeah. I guess.
And I know so many people who like get the service animal things, and their dogs aren't service animals. They just say that so they can take their dogs everywhere. And I'm like, exactly. I mean, I get it. I like your dogs, but also it's like, dude, like you don't have to bring your dog everywhere. See that video clip a couple of weeks ago? The guy who was sitting, I guess he was sitting in first class. He was like a row or two into first class, and he had the phone taping over his shoulder. And it was somebody in the beginning of Coach by the bulkhead had their service animal, which was like one of those short horses or ponies. Oh, Jesus.
Oh,
yeah, it was all over the
Support
place.
pony.
It was an emotional support pony or service pony, something like that. And this guy, he just turns his phone on the selfie mode, but has it over his shoulder. And he's just taping the fact that the horse is just looking out from the bulkhead, looking around. Standing there, not doing anything. While the people are there. One guy's, it's a couple. The dude's on his phone, and she's just looking up, I guess, watching the TV. And there's just a little horse sitting right there. Just chilling. I mean, he wasn't causing
so
a problem,
crazy.
but it's so dumb.
Would you like the chicken or the fish? Nay.
I'll have him, please. Go fry him up.
Yeah.
I travel with my own
See what
meals.
Bojack's having. You gotta go.
What are you having? Bojack. Oh, didn't see that coming.
And
All
I mean, it's adorable. I just don't do it.
No, don't bring a petting zoo onto the plane under the guise that it's a support animal. If you're blind,
also,
get a dog like everybody else.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring a shark. This is my support shark. And he's just gonna bite people. And I'd be like, "Yo, we gotta splash water on him every 5 minutes, or he's gonna die."
Whenever I get stressed or full of anxiety or have a panic attack, my stress transfers to the shark, and then the shark goes crazy and bites and eats people, and then I feel better about myself.
I know it's hurting other people around me, but as long as I feel good.
Yeah.
Shit.
And that's what it comes down to. Thus the point of that everyone feels entitled to some degree in every way, shape, or form. All right, let's take a break. When we come back, we got a bunch of TV and movie stuff to talk about that we think you'll be interested in. We'll be right back.
I've got 2 tickets to paradise. I've got 2 tickets to paradise. Excellent guitar riff.
More, it's Eric Nagel. It's Eric Nagel. Next. It's Eric Nagel. Follow the show on Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, YouTube, and Facebook at It's Eric Nagel. It's Eric Nagel. He is back.
Hi, welcome back to the program. Erik, Gittles, Zia here with you, and you're listening to The Cars. As Ric Ocasek, lead singer of The Cars, has just recently passed away. Eddie Money, too. We used to have Eddie Money a lot on the old Opie and Anthony show. He would come on a lot, and it's like, oh, yay, it's Eddie Money again.
Yeah, I saw Eddie Money. He performed at my college in 2001, and it was like Parents Weekend, and it was really funny because it was like all the kids there with their parents, and Eddie Money is playing 2 tickets to paradise, and then the song is over, and he's like, "Some of your cheerleaders are pretty cute here, and you want to see what the back of a rock star's van's like?" And the whole audience was just awkwardly quiet.
Oh no!
Because it was everyone's parents there. Like, it was so uncomfortable.
He was definitely the guy that didn't grow out of the generation that he grew up in.
Nope.
I feel like that's the only chicks he could get, or then the chicks trying to relive their glory days of finally sleeping with the rock star they could never get.
I just slept with
Pretty
Eddie
much.
Money.
Yeah.
He's still alive? No, he just died last week.
Oh.
Mom, you gotta
But
really...
I banged him before he did.
Oh,
Well, I would hope so. Although after would have been the better story. But anyway.
Whatever. Yeah.
R.I.P. to Eddie Money. But Ric Ocasek from The Cars is where this all started there. He just recently passed away. And I was a big Cars fan. My dad had this ongoing joke in the 80s where my mom didn't know a lot about music at that particular time. So anytime a song came on the radio, my mom, and she liked it, my mom would go, "Who is that?" My dad would say, "Oh, that's The Cars." "Oh, wow, I like this song." And this happened for a while. Then she realized about music stores. Like, she would go into the mall and try to. She goes, I can't find any of these songs by the Cars. My dad said, what are you talking about? She goes, I was looking for this. I went to the music store and I was asking for the Cars, and they showed me the album. She goes, I didn't know any of these songs on there. And my dad said, oh my God, I forgot I told you that. That I was lying. So every time a song came up that my mom didn't know, my dad just said, oh, it's the Cars. And for a while, she believed that like they had a massive string of hits. Now they did, but it wasn't the songs that she thought they were.
Yeah, Bohemian Rhapsody was not the Cars. You listened to it in the car, not the Cars.
Looking at last week's box office, coming in at number 1, It Chapter 2. Anybody here go see that?
Nope.
No?
Not yet.
I want to see it. I just don't think I want to see it in the theater. I think I'm going to wait.
That's how I feel.
I think I want to see it, but I don't want to spend the time in the theater to see it. I'll wait for it to come on demand.
I didn't like the first one enough to spend the money to see the second one. I'll wait.
Coming in at number 2, Hustlers, which is the Jennifer Lopez movie about strippers who are getting their hustle on. And by the way, if you've gone and see this movie, let me know if they used the Opie and Anthony clip. It's a car scene, supposedly. Where it's
no, that's not the Cars. It's a Queen.
Yes, it's. What radio show is this? It's the Cars.
It's the Cars.
Wow, Whip It Out Wednesday by the Cars. So if you went and saw the movie, if you heard the clip in there, please let me know where it is because I want to try to go and find it and get a copy of it. Coming in number 3, Angel Has Fallen. Coming in number 4, Good Boys, which I'm still hearing a lot of good things about that. I think I want to go to the theater and see. And surprisingly, number 5, still in the top 5, in the top 10 even, the Lion King live action remake by Disney. And
what?
It's still holding on.
Yeah, because as Gittles pointed out, I think last week, that there wasn't enough new movies out right now to move everything around. But it's
not enough.
It's going to start up very soon because I think, is it this weekend or is it next weekend? Oh, it's this weekend. The final Rambo is coming out. Rambo Lost Blood.
I'm seeing that on Sunday.
I'll go see it. I heard it's not good, but I'll see it.
The Downton Abbey movie.
Not seeing that shit. Unless Rambo is checking in at Downtown Abbey and killing everyone, I am not seeing it.
Is it sung by Rod Stewart? On a Downtown Abbey.
Just explodes.
Movie was done in 5 minutes. The credit sequence was the finale.
Great movie.
And then also the Ad Astra movie.
I'm seeing that on Saturday.
With Brad Pitt, which from what I understand, somebody told me that it's Latin, meaning like through the stars or search the stars, something like that.
I don't know. I thought it was like some new cough medicine or something like that. Like, try Ad Astra. Its side effects may include traveling through space, hiccuping, existentialism. You might have a slight case of death. Like, welcome to Ad Astra.
And remember, in space, no one can hear you scream. Ad Astra.
Which is good because you'll be screaming a lot.
Right. So that comes out this weekend if you want to see that, which is Brad Pitt
and Tommy Lee Jones.
Oh yeah, he's in it too.
Why is it not crediting him? That the director James Gray, writer James Gray, Ethan Gross, actor Brad Pitt. Yeah, Tommy Lee Jones. I think because he's such a minor aspect of the movie, but still he's a big name. You'd think he'd be right there on the poster, but it's not. It just says Brad Pitt, Ad Astra.
Well, Brad Pitt's real hot right now, so.
He is. You saw Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, shirt off on the roof.
Dude, he's like 50 or something. What
I know,
the
right?
Fuck?
Abs for days.
I thought he was like 75. He's 50?
Yeah, he looks really good.
Yeah, he's looking pretty good.
Yeah, 50. I'm like, this is ridiculous.
And then really nothing to worry about until the beginning of October when Joker comes out.
Oh, yeah.
Very, very, very minor spoiler for the Joker. I saw the movie.
How'd you see it?
Piece of trash.
Somebody sent it to me. I saw it.
How'd they send it to you?
Because somebody taped it in a theater, I guess in Spain or Italy, wherever it was showing.
Jeez.
And you see the subtitles on the bottom of the screen, but I watched the movie.
Wow.
Thoughts?
I'm
not impressed.
Really?
It didn't look that good.
I was not championing this movie ever. Like, I was not really excited about it.
Yeah.
I will say this. I am excited about DC doing some R-rated movies because Marvel has proven that it does work with Logan, with Deadpool. If they had done this, right, and it had some kind of tie to Batman. And then maybe they did an R-rated Batman. And like they made a couple of movies just to fit in more of an adult world, but they still made it for other family-friendly stuff too. I would have been excited about that, but I didn't. It just looks like a 70s gritty New York City cop movie. Taxi Driver, people have said, King of Comedy crossover into that. It's something familiar and simple, and it's the exact opposite of the busy CGI superhero Marvel movie. So maybe that's why people love it, because it's not as complex or it's not as much. It doesn't feel like it's so much to watch this kind of movie. I watched it. It was okay. I wasn't really surprised by a lot of the stuff. There was a couple of good scenes. The ending, I'm sure people are going to love. I was kind of and it doesn't tie into anything else. And I heard
there's no cameos of any Bat people.
No, there's your spoiler. No Batman, nothing. They've said it doesn't.
Yeah,
but there was nothing. I didn't care. I didn't care going into it, so I'm not ruining the movie for anybody. I'm not trying to paint a bad picture about this movie. I'm sure a lot of people are going to love it because a lot of people saw that final trailer and said, this looks amazing, I can't wait. I was not one of those people. I didn't care. And I still didn't care after having seen the movie.
I'm legitimately excited to watch it. Interesting.
I'm like on the fence. I don't want to ruin it for you. If I see it, I see it, but I'm not going to go out of my way to see it.
Yeah,
you know
I wasn't a fan to begin with, and that's the only reason I'm bringing it up, because I wasn't a fan afterwards either. And don't take that as any way of you deciding whether if this movie is going to be good or not. More people love this movie, or the potential this movie has, than disliked it. I just happen to be one of the people that it doesn't. I don't care. Like that whole gritty reality kind of stuff just never really attracted
like Batman Begins was good enough for me. Like I was like, that was the gritty remake I liked.
Right.
And
that whole
Chris was great.
It was Christopher Nolan, right?
Christopher Nolan. Yeah.
The whole trilogy of that stuff. It was gritty and real enough, but had the comic book elements to it without being comic booky.
Yeah.
In it had those elements of absurdity and some slight cartoonish situations without it looking campy and looking stupid. Like if this actually could happen, this is the reality of how it would happen, right? I think that's why it worked. And I would like to see more of that, but this movie is not that. It's everything you see in this movie, like, yeah, this could happen. This could be a real thing. Whether it was the Joker or not, this could have been a real thing. This could have just been some other crazy person, But
I think I'm gonna like that. I think that sort of stuff doesn't bother me. I like those kinds of movies. So I think just for me, that aspect of it isn't gonna ruin it.
Well, please go out there, go watch it. I'd love to hear your reviews. You guys, if you go and see it, I would love to hear your reviews, and we can talk about it when the movie does open the weekend of October 4th. So that would be the previous week, which is after Comic-Con, because we'll have all that stuff in there. Maybe we can throw it in there and talk about all of that. A couple other quick notes before we get into more TV and movie stuff. Bill Burr's new special was on Netflix. I know Zia finally saw it, right?
Uh-huh.
Did you like it?
Loved it.
Gittles,
so
did you
good.
see it?
Yeah, I saw it. I saw it the day it came out.
Oh, did we talk about this already?
Yeah, I talked about it last week.
Oh, this is an old note. Okay, my bad. Deleted. Gone. There was another special that just came out that I saw.
I know American Horror Story started last night, but I haven't seen it.
Yeah, that's out. Oh, Dennis Miller. If you like Dennis Miller, he has a new special which is on Amazon Prime called Fake News, Real Jokes. It was pretty good. It's a little long. It's about an hour 15. And if you like Dennis Miller's he paces himself. He's a bit slower and more dry. But I actually enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty good. So if you want to go check that out.
My friend works for Dennis Miller. I should check that out.
What did they do?
He produces his podcast.
I didn't know he had a podcast because I knew he used to do radio and other stuff. I didn't know he had this podcast. I saw him on Jimmy Fallon the other night promoting the special. And then I checked out, I subscribed to the podcast. I haven't listened to anything yet, but I'm interested to check it out. It seems Norm Macdonald shows up in several episodes, which I'm a big fan of.
Yeah, he's great.
What else in movie news? Oh, so Gittles posted this thing that I reposted on the show page about Princess Bride. Now, a lot of people took this as they're remaking The Princess Bride, and it wasn't the case.
No, if they read the headline, it said it was in a thought.
Right, but people just took it and ran with it. Like, I can't believe they're going to remake Princess Bride. It's a classic. Should never be. It's like, slow down. The article is more about Norman Lear, the old famous television producer who has this resurgence in producing everything, signed a huge multi-million-dollar deal with Sony Television to make more projects. He just won a Creative Arts Emmy the other day for that live installment that he did of All in the Family and the Jeffersons a while back. He won an Emmy for that. Apparently he's got an Emmy and production deal. He has the rights to One Day at a Time, which was the remake, the reboot that they did on Netflix with a Spanish family or a Latino family. And then it only lasted, I think, 3 seasons and Netflix canceled it. But this channel Pop TV picked it up. So it's back in production and it's doing another 2 seasons on this network. So he has that going, and they're having him develop some of the other stuff. He has the rights, the creative rights, everything to Princess Bride. That's all his.
Yeah.
So
didn't he produce the original?
Yeah.
I know Rob Reiner directed it.
Yeah, but he has the right. He owns it, right?
Yeah.
So he was saying that while in the course of this interview with Variety, he said, you know, one of the things he's most known for besides television was Princess Bride. And he said, it's funny. He's like, there's a lot of really big name, rich people out there, and he's not going to name names, that have approached him that want to remake Princess Bride. That's what he said. He said people have been, doesn't mean they're going to do it. He just said there's been people that constantly are contacting him. They want to remake Princess Bride. Whether he decides he's going to do that or not, I don't know. But that's all that was. It was a little blurb in the article, and it blew up online that they're going. It was trending for a while. It said Princess Bride. You click on it, they're going to reboot Princess Bride, and people were getting upset. It's like, just nobody reads past the headlines anymore. Or if they read the headline, they don't understand the headline.
No, I mean, I read the whole article. Like, I knew that that's exactly what it said, but it's just funny that, like, even the mere thought of it caused that much of a backlash. Yeah. Like, people are like, yeah, no, don't touch this. Like, stop touching things. Like, just no, stop.
Yep.
It's like a mom. Slap the hand. Stop rebooting movies. I told you. I'm telling your father, and you're going to deal with him when he comes home.
Yeah.
What did he do? He rebooted Princess Bride. That's it. No TV for 2 weeks. That's the harshness of doing things like that. Princess Bride not being rebooted. What is being rebooted? House Party. House Party was a movie
that could be a good remake
that I grew up with, and it wasn't a blockbuster by any means.
No,
it was a movie for the time. It was a timepiece that had 2 other sequels with the original cast and the original writers and all that stuff. That was more of like a cult film. Mm-hmm. Like Friday. Ice Cube's Friday was not a blockbuster movie, but it became a cult film thanks to rentals and cable and all that stuff, right?
Film, yeah.
So House Party starred Kid and Play, which were rappers from the 80s. And it was about their lives and, I guess, finishing high school or in their last year of high school and dealing with all that before Kid was going to go to college and shenanigans happen. And had great comics in there. Bernie Mac was his uncle. Robin Harris was another great comic who's long since left us, was his father. It was a great movie all around. If you can find the original House Party, go and watch it. It's a classic film. It's really good.
I just looked it up. I've never seen it.
You should. It's really good. Even the second one wasn't bad.
I think it's on Netflix or Hulu, one of those.
The second one was the Pajama Jammy Jam, which is it wasn't bad for as far as sequels go. It was not bad. So the movie's now going to be rebooted by New Line Cinema, which, by the way, I didn't realize was still in business. I thought New Line got absorbed or changed into something else. I didn't know it was still its own entity for producing films. And all I remember New Line Cinema for was for horror movies, because you would see their graphic, their production graphic, where it used to be black and purple. It's a New Line Cinema, and if it was a horror movie, it would turn black and red as it was coming together. It would be all evil looking. Like it was in front of the Freddy movies, I think, the latter half.
I think Creepshow.
Of the Friday the 13th movies. Things like that. Like I knew New Line Cinema mostly for horror or thriller kind of movies.
New Line.
So they're going to reboot this movie here. Now, okay, I'm not really that upset about them rebooting House Party. There's a scene where they're at an actual house party and they do a rap battle between Kid and Play.
Great.
It's great. It's fun. It's a bit corny by today's standards, but it's fun to watch, and it was great at the time, right? I don't know how they're going to do something like that now, because how all the music and how they acted did reflect the times and the style of the music at that time.
It was the style at the time.
They had onions on their belts. They gave me 5 Bs for a nickel. Like, it was a whole thing going on. So now they're going to redo this new if they're going to do it in modern hip hop. How is it going to, like, modern hip hop sucks, and that's not just me. It's a scientific fact. I'm stating that right now. That it sucks. The mumble shit sucks. The trap shit sucks. All of it sucks. There's very few hip hop things that are out right now that are actually good. So if they're going to do this rap battle, and if it's going to be as shitty as that Snickers commercial where they're doing the rap battle, and the guy is I don't know, is he Betty White or Roseanne Barr or somebody?
Well, I mean, you're talking about a commercial versus a movie here.
No.
I feel like it would probably be better.
I'm making the comparison where they give him the Snickers. Like, sometimes it's Elton John in the rap battle.
I know what you're saying.
And he gives him the Snickers. He bites into it, and he turns back into the dude at the house party. And now it's his time to flow, to spit some rhymes. And he goes like this. He leans down like he's mean mugging. His hands are stuck out like this. Like extended like this, and he's just going, my flows are like, it's like really slow, low energy, low pace. I'm like, if this is the fucking rap battle,
hello my honey, hello my ragtime girl.
I would rather see that in the new house party when it comes out there. And he's like, they were doing the Charleston, they were bebopping, big band music was happening. Oh shit, it's going down! Everyone runs in the house.
We gotta scoot in there.
23 skidoo shots.
Yeah, we gotta hurry up.
But it'll be. I'll give it the benefit of the doubt. It's not a major property that I'd get upset if they rebooted.
No,
but I'd like to. Hopefully, they'll treat it right, because it's an enjoyable cult movie. If you've never seen it, we can't recommend it enough.
The thing is, it would be great if they did it kind of like how when they do other things, where like maybe the annoying neighbor would be Kid and Play this time. Be like, yeah, we threw a party like that 30 years ago, like that kind of like tie-in. I can see them doing.
It has to be. Because that property.
They made how many? There was like 4 or 5 of those movies.
3 of them with the original cast.
5.
Yeah,
and there's a 4th one that they just used. Whoever owned the title at the time used it, and it was all different people. Had nothing to do with Kid and Play and all of that. So if it's a new house party and Kid and Play are part of it, like really a part of it, not like the main focus of it. It could be with younger actors and features and stuff. But if they're there, if it's their kids doing this, then I think that you're right. That'll give it a lot of credibility. One of the fun things about that movie, that franchise too, was all the hip hop stars that showed up in the movie as regular people. Like all of a sudden, there's Queen Latifah, there's Naughty by Nature, there's Another Bad Creation. Hey, Boyz II Men are over there. They just happened to be in the bodega as he went in there to buy condoms. Like, it's like something weird like that. They weren't cameos in the sense of they were, showing off, how cool they were, how important they were, stuff like that. They were just playing regular street level characters that went to this high school or just lived in the neighborhood, not being the major superstars they were. And that was one of the things that I guess added to the charm of the movie. So if they could do that now, you can have these rappers coming in and out. I'm like, who's the guy with the tattoo face and the rainbow hair? I don't know who that guy is. Oh, he's the guy that's squealing on people in court right now. That's who it is.
I refer to his kind of rap as plastic rap. We had gangster rap when we grew up. Now we have plastic rap.
I've never even heard that guy. Like, I know his name, but I've never heard any of his music.
Takeshi 6ix9ine.
Tekashi 6ix9ine.
Yeah, well,
I feel like he said I'm gonna take a shit, and they said, did you say Tekashi? He's like, yeah, that's what I said.
He was a
put 6ix9ine at the end.
He was a YouTube rapper. His music sucks, and now like he's in prison right now. He just at the day that we're recording this, he was on the stand today in court, snitching on other people saying that they were in the Bloods because it's a gang trial, and he just outed Cardi B in the statement. He said, yeah, she's been a part of the Bloods for a while, and then her record label had to issue out statements like, she has nothing to do with the Bloods, she's never been part of the Bloods. And he's so hanging under oath, oh yeah, she's part of it. And this other guy, I guess, who's a current rapper, I don't know his name, and he said, oh, he's a retired old rapper, he's part of the Bloods too. And they're like, retired? He just put out an album like 2 months ago. he's still current. So it's a whole circus with that thing, and he looks like a clown, so it's fitting. And we'll just see how that goes. But as far as movie stuff, I think that's all I have, unless you guys had any other movie news. We can move on to television if you're interested. Breaking Bad, the movie's coming to Netflix in October. It's only, I think, about 2-3 weeks away.
So mid-October?
So you have time to go through and binge watch Breaking Bad if you need to do so, or if you need a refresher course. I'm not going through a refresher course. I'll just see it as is and try to remember things as I go.
I've seen the series, I think, twice already, so I kind of remember most of it.
I loved the show the first time around. I've had no interest rewatching it. I don't know why. It just didn't have a second time around appeal for me.
I'm telling you, dude, like, you think that, but if you put it on and start watching it, you immediately get sucked right back into it.
I'm sure.
Like,
but
I didn't think that was going to happen, and then I was like, oh, man, I got sucked back into it so fast.
I liked, why can't I remember the fucking characters now?
Who? Badger?
No.
Saul?
Bryan Cranston's character, White. Walter White.
Walter
White.
The main character?
I couldn't. It's been a while. It was done. I liked Walter White.
Jesus.
I liked Aaron Paul's character. I liked
Jesse.
I liked the bald cop who was his brother-in-law.
Oh my God, Hank.
Hank was.
Do you
good.
not know any of these characters? You need to rewatch the show before you watch this movie.
Hank.
Like if you're thinking the bald cop guy, he played. What's his name? Walter. Like, oh my God, Erik, you need to rewatch the show.
The crippled Spanish guy that had the bell in the wheelchair. Liked him. I liked the guy who ran Los Polos Hermanos.
I never saw the show. Everybody yells at me about it all the time. It was just one of those ones that I never ever got around to watching.
Well,
it's one of those ones where it was like really hyped up to me, and then I watched it, and I was like, man, it's actually better than the hype. Like, it's so fucking good.
I've had enough real life experience with meth that watching it, I'm like,
Yeah, you don't need to.
Wait,
I know all there is
in your
about
world or in your system?
In my world.
Okay.
I've never done, I should clarify, I've never done meth.
Because I was going to say, then we really need to increase our vetting process here for the show.
Probably a good idea. I've had plenty of family that has. I have a sister in jail now because of it.
Wow.
Yeah, she got high on meth and stole a cop's gun. There was a lot leading up to it, but that's what got her arrested.
Is she in the Breaking Bad movie?
She should be. She could be. She's nuts enough to be. She's something else. I love her to pieces. She sounds like she's doing good. I hope she can stay clean. When she gets out, she has to go to rehab. So I've lived enough meth. I'm good.
Well, rewatch Breaking Bad if you want to lead up to the movie coming out in October on Netflix. You said something about you watched a horrible movie on Netflix.
I did, and now I can't remember what it was called, but it was
It was that bad you forgot it.
It was, I know, it was so bad. I had to go pick my husband up from work, so I literally fast forwarded through to the very end, and it was
a horror?
No, kind of like thriller. It was so
Was it thriller?
Terrible. It was, thriller.
Because I watched something terrible too recently, and it wasn't very good.
Was it on Netflix?
Yeah.
It was the one where the wife wakes up from an accident and her husband is there, and then it turns out it's not her husband. He killed her husband because she doesn't remember anything, and then tried to act like he was married to her.
What?
Yeah, it was awful, and I don't know why I watched it. I just clicked on it. And
Is it a Netflix original?
Was
or
it
was just on
Secret
Netflix?
Obsession?
It's a Netflix original. What is it called?
Secret Obsession?
I don't think so. Or did you look it up? Who's in it?
I just wrote Netflix movie guy, and then Google filled in the rest. It says pretends to be husband.
Oh, maybe that's what it was. What's it called?
Was the female who woke up, was she of Asian descent?
Yes.
Yeah, so it's Secret Obsession.
Secret Obsession. That's so terrible. I blocked that out. I watched that. I really don't know what. Yep, that was it. I don't know what made me put it on.
Mike Vogel's in this.
It was so bad. Who?
Mike Vogel. We had him on the show years ago for he got to start with Cloverfield. We had the whole cast of Cloverfield on when that movie was coming out.
I liked Cloverfield.
The actress's name is Brenda Song.
Brenda Song. Okay.
Okay, well, that mystery is solved.
It was not good.
All right, and blocking from my list. Perfect. Other TV stuff that's coming out. Mr. Robot's final season, I saw the teaser for it, comes out October 6th on the USA Network. I don't know how many episodes is it, if it's going to be a 13-episode run, a 10-episode run, but it promises to deliver.
It's the end of the series, so
that's coming out. Gittles and I like that show. We've been talking about that for years now. It's good to finally. It's been a while since the last season, right?
It's been at least
like 2 years. Yeah, because what's his name? Remy was off doing the Queen movie.
Yeah.
So we have that. Also on October 6th, The Walking Dead Season 10 returns. If you still care about that at all.
But did you hear the other news that Sam Esmail, creator of...
I'm getting into that right now. We can jump into that with the NBC streaming service. So NBC announced that NBC Universal announced that they're going to put out their own streaming service because that's what you have to do, called the Peacock. Is the name of their streaming service. And what they've announced with the Peacock is that they were going to have a whole bunch of different properties available for you to watch on there, what you need. But they're also going to be making a series of reboots exclusively for this streaming service. So they said first they're going to remake Saved by the Bell. There's going to be a reboot of this. Now, here's what's interesting. When they put out the press release, it says that Zach Morris will be in the reboot of Saved by the Bell, where he's going to be the governor of California, right? The next day, Mark Paul Gosselaar put out a statement and said, I was never approached to return as Zach Morris. I found out the same time you did. So they didn't even ask him. They just said, we're rebooting this, and he had no idea. So advantage Burns, but advantage Zach Morris, Mark Paul Gosselaar, because now he's like, well, you need me for Zach Morris. We got to talk money here because you jumped the gun on this thing, and it looks bad for NBC. But they're going to reboot that. Then they're going to reboot Punky Brewster, which a lot of people don't know what that is. And if you happen to
that's old enough that I feel like...
Yeah, and here's the thing. It was never in syndication. It was an 80s sitcom on NBC. It was never in syndication, so it wasn't like it's a beloved show that people would lose their shit over. So that's being rebooted.
Small Wonder next?
Rebooted. Possible, but what do you want to bet that Punky Brewster is not going to be the same type of cast that it was in the 80s?
I mean, it's probably the same cast.
Well, the guy who played Henry is dead, and so is the dog.
No, I thought, I know. I thought you meant like same characters.
No, probably the same characters, but it won't be an old white guy that adopts this young.
Oh no! I mean, that show is how old now? That was from like the 80s.
Yeah.
Anyone who would still be alive from that show would have to be like the old neighbors next door. There's no way.
Soleil Moonfry, who played Punky Brewster, I'm sure is going to be involved in some way, shape, or form, just to have her tied into there. But I'm just saying, I'm sure they're going to change up the ethnicity of the character or the location wherever they lived, just because they got to change everything. They can't ever reboot something the way that it was.
Well, why do they have to keep rebooting everything?
Exactly. That's the bigger problem. Stop rebooting stuff.
That's the problem.
Well, continuing on with the reboots, Battlestar Galactica.
That's the one I was going to say.
Which was just rebooted about, 13 years ago?
I think so.
And it was good.
Didn't the reboot end like 13 years ago?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The reboot was really good. I didn't see the 70s version of it. A lot of people said the 70s one, unless you were a diehard fan of it, if you were a casual viewer, they said it was complete garbage, that it sucked. But they replaced one of the characters, or they recast one of the characters for the reboot. Instead, Starbuck was a guy. It was this hotshot kind of pilot on the show, and they replaced it with Katie Sackhoff, a female, and she did really well. Like she made the Starbuck character a bit different, and enough that it wasn't like, oh, you just changed it to make it a female just because you want to make it a female. She took the character and made it something completely different. The show was really good. I really enjoyed it. So now they're rebooting it yet again because Universal owns the property for it, but it's going to be overseen by Sam Esmail.
Yeah.
Who's the creator and showrunner for Mr. Robot. So that makes it feel a little better because I actually enjoy Sam's work, and I think he'll bring a lot of good stuff to that. And I saw Gittles tweeted earlier today that he wanted him to also direct an episode of Black Mirror.
Yeah, that's my thing. I just like if I want someone to do something, I just tweet at them and see if I get a response. And I kind of set it up like a date where I'm like, hey, this person, you should do this for this show, and then I tag that show in it. Maybe they'll be like, oh, I would have never thought to contact you. And then I'm like, yeah.
2 years from now, he's sitting there with Stephen Colbert. So why did you decide to bring this project back? Well, some guy tweeted at me, and I was like, you know what? That's like chocolate in my peanut butter in my chocolate. I was like, oh, that's a kind of a good idea. So thanks at Gittlebase.
Yeah.
This never would have happened had he not just haphazardly tweeted me for no reason.
Yeah, that show went on to cure world hunger and have solve world peace and blah,
so
blah,
you
blah.
brought him on board as a consultant? He was part of it? No, I'm not paying him.
He gets none of this.
No.
He gets none of this.
You're not even getting the t-shirt. I blocked him after that. Now I took
His name was like Bubbles or something.
Oh,
Bubbles something.
Puddles.
Bubbles. I'm going to drink my bubbles.
I love drinking bubbles. I don't give a crap what anyone says.
It is pretty good.
And my friend calls it spicy water.
Spicy water?
Yeah.
So
How
funny
old's
to
your
me.
friend?
I have a friend who doesn't like spicy foods or like anything that's like even remotely spicy. And I'm like, you want seltzer? He's like, that's spicy water. I'm like, no, dude, it's not spicy.
I'm sorry, Rowan.
For when
That's so funny.
carbonation is too much, you just
I saw
default to
it-
spicy.
Spicy water. It makes sense to me. I get it. Like when I was a kid, I used to be like, it burns. It's like when you give like a lemon to a dog and they just start stepping on it. Like, get away, devil. Like it's just, you don't know what it is.
Oh, but it burns so good.
Yeah, exactly.
It's such a good burn.
Oh, baby, it burns so good. Somebody, spicy
Burns
water.
so good. Yeah, spicy water.
It's like, wow, nobody really thought out this commercial. They just
Yeah,
went
no,
with
they
it.
didn't at all.
It's like, oh, they paid an intern and said good enough.
They paid an intern? Holy shit.
Well, you
Yeah,
have to.
what?
You have to by union standards. They get
Yeah,
scaled.
now.
Yeah.
Well, after all those kids died in that cage, I guess we got to pay them now.
The big spicy water fire
Looking at
of
my
2020.
Yeah, it turns out you can't throw spicy water on a fire.
Who knew it
Makes
was
fire-
flammable?
It makes
Nobody.
the fire spicier.
Well, it is gas. Shut up, Bill.
Yeah. That was carbonated gas.
So Battlestar Galactica is getting a reboot. Now, this I just saw recently. This wasn't in the original statement that went out, but now they're in talks. They're saying that they're looking to try to reboot The Office.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Now, The Office was in the original press release was saying, oh, some of the properties that are coming that you can get these old properties that you can go and your comfort viewing, if you will be on this platform. And it's been very publicly noted that NBC Universal ended the deal with Netflix and took Friends in The Office. I think they go one more year and then they're off of Netflix. They go over to the Peacock. And while they were doing that, Netflix negotiated with Sony and Castle Rock to get Seinfeld for the same money for 5 years. So now NBC doesn't have this other major property, which wasn't theirs. It's Sony's property, but it's synonymous with NBC, right? So they don't even have that as one of their crown jewels for the streaming service because Netflix is like, well, we're going to lose The Office and Friends. Oh, we got Seinfeld, by the way. What? Yeah, while you weren't looking
That
over
was
there,
a
we
big
kind of
get.
took that. So we took Seinfeld from you. So they put The Office and Friends on the NBC streaming service. Then apparently, I guess Universal owns some other TV properties, one of them being Married with Children, which was
Really?
notoriously associated because it was Fox. It was one of the programs like The Simpsons and Gary Shandling Show that launched the Fox network. And anytime you talk about Married with Children or reflect back on it, you think of the Fox network because they took a lot of shots at the Fox network in the show. But Fox only had the broadcasting rights, not the production rights to it. So Sony made the deal, or not Sony made the deal. Universal, I guess, had the deal for that, and now it's on the Peacock programming. But it also opens up this Peacock streaming. Also, you have the entire Universal movie catalog, which I think that'll be impressive enough. I don't know if it's going to be all the way impressive enough for me to subscribe to it because now there's too many streaming services. They also announced that they're going to be covering the Olympics on the app as well. So I guess if
that's a get to have on an app.
If you don't want to watch
people
it,
are going to watch it. Yeah,
because some of the times, like the Summer Olympics next year is in Japan, so it's not going to be prime time wise. It doesn't really fit for what happens here in the United States. So what NBC usually does when it's in a time frame that's too wonky for primetime programming for the United States, they record everything, they package it. You don't get to see the full events as is. You see them like, here's this person compete. All right, it's done. They go back to Bob Costas at the Olympic Center and do whatever. They talk to the athlete. Like, it's all packaged, well produced, and that you just don't get to see it. Most times you don't get to watch it as it's happening because it's the hours are off kilter. So I guess with the app,
are they gonna put up like best ofs of old Olympics or people who want to go back to like watch classic moments?
I would go that. There's Jesse Owens giving Hitler the finger as he wins the 1936 Olympics.
Yo, I'd watch that on loop. That'd be great.
Screen caps, memes, all that fun stuff. But so they're covering as far as I know, the Olympics that are coming. I'm sure their back catalog, because NBC has the rights for the next 12 years or something like that for Olympics broadcasting. I'm sure they're going to throw all that old stuff on there. It would make sense if they could do that, but it's going to cover a lot of the Tokyo 2020 Olympics on there, which I'd be interested in watching that. I don't know if I'll have this service at that time, but I'm seeing more value to it rather than like the CBS All Access, which has a couple of shows and really like CBS is kind of fucked when it comes to that stuff. They're not producing their own shit. They're licensing stuff from other people. And that's what's happening with Netflix. NBC had said that they're pulling a lot of the other stuff off of there. Universal's pulling their movies, I think, off of there in about a year's time.
Oof.
And that's a problem for Netflix because everybody's taking their properties and going home. And what Netflix is generating their own stuff, but is it enough to keep it going? Because people love to go and binge watch old shows or shows they've never seen. Currently, right now, I'm watching a show I've never seen before, and I'm already up to the third season, The Good Place. I've heard great things about it. I've never watched it.
People keep telling me to watch it, but I haven't watched it.
I sat down and watched it. I just started the third season, and I'm like, wow, this is great that it's all here on Netflix that I could sit here and watch the whole thing. But all that stuff's going to go because that's what people went to Netflix for movies and for these shows, comfort viewing, that they could sit there and binge through all of this stuff. And when you start taking all that away, what's Netflix got? They got their original programming, but is that enough for you to keep paying all that money to keep the Netflix service? And
I don't know. I think everyone's going to lose a lot of money on all these.
I think so too, because this is another thing. Netflix made me think about the TV networks and that Married with Children thing that I just talked about.
Yeah.
So the TV networks that growing up, you always associate certain shows with certain networks. The Cosby Show and Family Ties, NBC. Friends, NBC. Seinfeld, NBC. Malcolm in the Middle. The Simpsons. Married with Fox. You know the networks that you watched them on as you were growing up or just happened to be watching whatever. The Netflix had the broadcasting rights to it. They don't have the syndication rights. They don't have any other rights to those properties. So when you're watching a show and it's been successful for a while and they hit that 100 episode mark, they can syndicate it. It's not the network syndicating it to your local affiliates where it's between 7 and 8 and then the 11 o'clock hour you see Seinfeld reruns or you see Everybody Loves Raymond.
Yeah.
CBS and NBC aren't doing that. It's the production companies that own the shows are the ones that do that. And that's where
everyone loves reruns.
Everybody loves reruns. That would be a great theme. Like, fuck me TV. Rebrand that as Everybody Loves Reruns and have Brad Garrett go, Everybody Loves Reruns.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing there. I'd watch it. I'm like, I don't even care for Mannix. But I'm going to watch it just because the bumpers are cool. So the networks are going to lose all this stuff because they have the broadcast rights, but that's it. They can rerun and stuff, but then that's it. Once it's out of production, they lose all the broadcast rights to it. So all these familiar properties, the networks don't have unless they own them or they own the production companies. So all these shows that for our age group, right, that were associated with a network, going forward, these networks are falling apart because these production companies go, well, we don't need a network to put. I mean, it's nice to put it on a network. It's more people and probably more advertising dollars, but we don't need it. So then going forward, these networks won't have anything. It's the production companies that become the network. So Sony TV and Castle Rock and Buena Vista, which is Disney's thing, and all these companies that put the stuff together, they're now the TV network. They just don't have the broadcast distribution because they can make a deal for their own streaming service. So your basic networks are, I don't know how they're going to continue unless it's news or sports or something. I don't know how they continue when all these other companies are like, we don't need to go to the networks anymore. We don't need to be on 8 o'clock on a Thursday night. That's not coveted anymore. It doesn't mean anything anymore. Yeah. It's all about on demand where we could put a weekly episode out or we can put out 13 episodes right now and people can binge it. We can make all our money off of that. Yeah. So networks will fall apart like that. And now, unfortunately, that's Netflix's thing. They were an archive of other people's properties. And now people are taking their shit away. Netflix is not going to be the powerhouse that it once was just a year ago when it was winning Emmys for some of their programming. Disney's at a point now where they're not even comparable to all these other streaming services anymore. They're too big and their price point, you can't beat it. They've got too much content. You can't pit them against NBC's Peacock, the HBO Max, which is the HBO Time Warner conglomeration. All their properties are being put together in their own streaming service. CBS All Access doesn't fucking mean anything. And I think there's one other that's coming out that I can't think of. I'm forgetting. But, you know.
It's not Sony, is it?
No, Sony's
so.
doing they're making
everyone's going to have their own at this point.
Right.
Yeah, everybody.
Amazon will do okay because you get Prime and they put out their own original material, but they're half putting out their own stuff and they're half iTunes. Like you can rent all other people's stuff there because it's a big property and you can watch original programming there. But it's a small percentage of the company because people are paying for Prime for the shipping. You just happen to get the movies and the TV specials and all that stuff with it. It's a nice part of it, but it's not the main selling point for that. So Amazon will be fine. Apple TV is doing their own thing. That was the one I was forgetting. Apple TV wants to do their own thing, but they're a technology company. They don't have. They're promising maybe I think
they don't
3
have like
programs.
Studios and shit.
Right. So who gives a fuck about that? They're way too late to the game. It's these companies that back in the day you thought like it's weird that that Universal bought NBC. Like why would a film company join with a TV company? It doesn't make any sense. Well, now it's that way. It's like NBC Universal has all their TV stuff, has all the movie stuff. HBO is owned by Time Warner, which owns Warner Brothers. You got the whole Warner Brothers film thing. You got their music stuff. You got all these TV things. They got the Looney Tunes. You got their sports networks. You got all the Turner properties. Like those, that's what makes sense, and that's why they're having all these stream individual things, and they'll do fine. Disney will do. There's no question Disney's not going to do well. Netflix is probably got the biggest bullseye on them right now. They're not generating enough to keep people. I think it's like $12, $13 a month that I'm paying for and you're just streaming. Yeah. There's a lot going on, and now there's too much going on.
Just give me all your logins because I don't want to pay for all these.
So much.
I'll tell you this, Gittles. The Disney Plus allows up to 7 profiles. So I'll give you one of those.
That I know. That's crazy. That seems really like way too much.
Right. So I'll let you have one of the profiles.
Yay.
And then every now and then I'll peek in and I go, what weird shit is Gittles looking at? And I'll look at him like, ew.
Yeah, just go to be like this. I do that all the time. I use my friend's Netflix in my living room and I just put shit on his watch list and just go through there.
What's he watching? He watches Bed Knobs and Broomsticks a lot.
I put so much weird shit in stuff. I'll be like going through. I'm like, I'm not going to watch this, but Matt is.
That sounds about right.
At least his girlfriend's going to be confused.
Well, there's a lot going on in stream stuff, and we're not even there yet. Like, it's still coming. This is just brand new news that came out, I think, yesterday or 2 days ago for the NBC Peacock stuff. Publicly, nobody knew that was in the works. And now all of a sudden, ta-da, here we are. So many people didn't know that the people that are involved with the reboot weren't even told. Like, I'm coming back to this. I had no idea. That's my life now going forward. And now Netflix spent $500 million for 5 years for Seinfeld.
So they can hang on for 5 more years.
They're just to hold on to whatever glory they have.
Yep.
Well, they do have some good original content. Like I'm almost done with season 3 of Glow. And it's just
that is good.
Good show.
Mark Maron is so good.
Season 3 was a little mixed.
Great. Yeah?
A lot of people have been telling me it's mixed.
I'll tell you this. Season 3 is more character. It's a character development or a character growth season. Like things
big
are
time.
changing. Like I think it's going to be like Star Trek. The even number seasons are the really action-packed, really good ones, and the odd number seasons are just developmental. Like, all right, they got to go through this process to get to season 4 where all this shit's going to happen.
You know what's really funny about it too is you're right. It's very. I was actually literally just saying the exact same thing 2 nights ago. That it's a very character driven show, and there's been so much character development for all of the characters, and they really do a good job with that. Except for the one character is that Viking chick. She is the only one.
The Wolf Girl?
Wolf Girl.
No, not Wolf Girl. She's great. She has so much character development. She's amazing.
Yeah,
her story arc
she
has
makes
been crazy.
a really weird change. Oh, and a good
my
change
God.
towards the end.
No,
I haven't
great.
seen 3 yet, so.
No, the Viking chick. The chick who plays the Viking wrestler who has the 2 braids all the time. See, you don't even know what I'm talking about because they do nothing with her.
I forgot about her.
Everybody else. Exactly. Everybody else has these awesome storylines. They're going through their own personal shit. It's like, there's a lot going on. And that one girl, nada. They're like, she doesn't matter.
She's a big lummox, if you will.
Yeah.
She's just a big lump of a
there.
person that's behind the scenes.
She'll say like 2 lines.
Yeah, Vicky
somewhere.
the Viking.
Yes.
I forgot all about her.
Being in the show.
She's the Meg of Glow. Shut up, Viking.
But like that and Stranger Things, like Netflix does have some pretty good Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. I really liked that show.
I love that show.
But
Part
they
three's
cancel like the shows that are good but aren't popular, and that's
Are
a
you
problem.
talking about the OA?
Yeah,
Talking about the OA again?
because it was a good show and they canceled it.
He's just upset
Yeah, a lot
because
of
he
people are
joined it too
pissed.
late and it was right as they were canceling it. He's like, "Oh, you
Yeah.
start this new show." Next day, canceled. God damn it.
Well, but also though, it's hard though when you see a company that is struggling and they're having problems with original content, and they have a show that's like really good original content, and they put no money into advertising, they barely promote it, and then they go, "Oh, well, we're going to cancel it because no one's watching it." It's like, well, you didn't do anything.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? It's like they're doing like what Fox did to Futurama when it first came on, and then they kept moving every day it was on to a different time, and then like people just stopped watching it because you didn't know when it was
nobody's
on.
watching it.
Yeah.
And then like they didn't understand that it had such a huge following, but because they just didn't have a set time to put it on, like everyone just didn't, know when it was on. It was a problem. And I think that's the same thing that they're doing with their original content. They're not realizing that they have like all these hits and these good shows, and they're advertising the stupid things that get like, retweets and stuff like that, as opposed to like content. I don't know. It's cheap.
It's all a mess. And there's a lot of it coming still. The biggest properties on Netflix are, I think they just said recently, Orange is the New Black.
That's over now.
Their most
I couldn't
viewed,
get into that
their
show.
most viewed original show on Netflix. And their most viewed original movies are the Adam Sandler projects that he put out.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, because they
spend-
buy all these other things and then they advertise them, and then they get like hyped up for a day, and then everyone watches and they're like, "Oh, that wasn't actually good."
Like Bird Box?
Yeah, Bird Brain and like what are the other ones?
Well, they're making a Silence 2 or whatever that one is with Jim from The Office. They're
that's
making a
stupid.
sequel to that, and then there's
Quiet
another.
Place.
There's a third movie or something in that silent thing that's on Netflix. I can't think of the name of it. I saw it on passing through where it says recommendations. Like I didn't even watch the first Silence movie. I saw Bird Box, but
Quiet Place is great.
Quiet Place. That's what it's
Oh,
called.
I want to watch that. I do want to watch that.
Yeah, Quiet Place is great. I liked it.
I'm going to watch that sometime. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe I'm going to watch that tomorrow. Because I actually have the day off. So
Oh, good for you.
I know. That's very exciting.
You should try The Quiet Place or The Good Place. I'm getting it all
Good Place?
confused. We've been
The
doing
Quiet
this
Place
too
is the
long.
good place.
Yes. We'll go with that. One last recommendation: if you have not seen, it's only 6 episodes. The reboot, or not the reboot. It's a different take on a reboot. They brought back Beverly Hills 90210, and it was called BH 90210. And what it is, it's the actors as them coming back for the reboot and trying to get everything ready for this reboot, and then going back into their characters. So you're seeing their lives as it goes into the character and their lives. And it's an interesting take on how they did it. They make it campy and cheesy like the 90s show for when they're shooting the scenes or getting the stuff together. But then when they're back in their real life, everything just fucking falls apart.
Yeah.
It was a good take on it. It's only 6 episodes for this first season. If you find it on demand, maybe FX now has it on demand because it's a Fox property. Go and watch it. I couldn't recommend it enough. If you watch the original show, you'll definitely like this one because it's a unique take on it, and it's very familiar. It's very comfortable, but then it's also going in its own direction and its own weird thing. So you're getting the best of both of that. I can't recommend that enough. I think with that being said, we got to get out of here and do the plugs. Gittles.
Gittlebase on the Twitter, Instagram, and Xbox Live. And I'll be at Comic-Con in 2 weeks.
Yes.
Say hi to me.
We're going to be at Comic-Con. Did you register your pass?
I'm going to do it right after this.
Yes, register your pass because we don't want to go in there.
Just got to put my shoes on.
Register your pass so that you can get into the place. We're going to be at New York Comic-Con Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. That's October 3rd through the 6th. We will be there doing the show, recording interviews, talking things on the floor, and having a grand old time. So look for that. And then, that's the other show. Never mind. Forget that one. So we have Comic-Con coming up. Zia, what do you have?
Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Zia_land. It's XIA_land. And you can check out Marvel Movie News. We're just talking a bunch of nonsense because there's not a ton of news, but it's still fun shows. Thursdays at 1 p.m. on the Popcorn Talk. That's on YouTube.
For me, I don't have a whole lot. It's E-Rock Radio across the board on social media for me, but for the show, which is more important, it's Erik Nagel across the board on social media. Like us on Facebook. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. We've been putting a lot more stuff up there. Edited version. I've heard some people saying, it's like, why'd you cut out some stuff? Because of platform rules. What flies over the radio doesn't necessarily fly on YouTube because of their stupid, I don't even know if it's algorithms, but their detection stuff that says, you got to pay money for this. You don't have the rights for that. It's like, no, but on the radio side, we pay for it, but just not over there. So it's like watching Married with Children, where it's not the Frank Sinatra song in the beginning of the credits. It's a knockoff because they didn't have the rights to use the music. That's what it is. So if you want to watch it on YouTube, if it's easier for you, subscribe on the YouTube channel. That would definitely help us out. And then 651 Smithers is the phone number if you'd like to leave a message to be used on future shows. 651-764-8437. I think that's it. With that being said, until the next time, everybody,
be excellent to each other.
And have a wonderful time.
And we'll be seeing you. Puberty hit right as the show ended.
Yep. My boobs would love it if that actually happened.
It's Erik Nagel.
Did you abscond with the church funds? Did you run off with the senator's wife? I like to think that you killed a man. It's the romantic in me.
It's a combination of all three.
Alas, we're out of time.
Follow It's Erik Nagel on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. For ways to listen to the show, go to itseriknagel.com. And remember to tell 2 friends so they can tell 2 friends.
And they can tell 2 friends.
And they can tell 2
And those
friends.
2 friends can tell 2 friends.
friends.